Oh yeah. Let's do it. Let's put this down. Spotify. Okay. Come on. There we go. All right. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
We up? We're up. What up, dog? Look
Hey.
at you. Balling out of control. 2 sold out arena shows for Kill Tony.
Yep.
New Year's Eve. Let's fucking go. And in town.
Amazing.
You get to do an arena show, a 10-minute drive from your apartment.
Yeah.
Dude, you're balling out of control. Look at you, son.
We're pumped.
Wearing pajamas to work.
I love it. This is a full Jordan sweatsuit.
I thought it was pajamas. I
Hey.
was like, Tony came in all casual in his PJs.
There's stuff that I want to wear to do stand-up in that I can't do stand-up in, but during the day, it's
you
like,
can do stand-up in that.
oh, I can't.
You 100% could.
I've literally put it on, and then, like, right before I leave, I go and change into black pants and a black hoodie.
One of my biggest mistakes ever is like I get high and then I get dressed. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing fucking raincoats and shit.
Yeah, I have a bunch of... I've been dressing very eccentric during the days lately. It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Why not? Why shouldn't you? You're a
Yeah.
baller now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at nighttime, at the last second, I get scared.
Sorta. You still wear that crazy belt buckle.
Oh, I wear the belt buckles everywhere. I got more. Someone just sent me a golden pony made of gold that says golden pony in big letters. I've been my homie Boneseye that makes all those leather joke books on Kill Tony. Just showed me one that he's almost finished with, which is the alien head of the mothership with the 2 Kill Tony guns crossed over. I mean, a big one, dude. You're gonna fucking love it. So now people know that I like belt buckles, so they're going out and fucking getting me custom-made belt buckles.
Man.
Boom.
Cody Garbrandt gave me a gold chain that his jeweler made, and on one side is my face, and on the other side is my dog's face.
Have you worn it yet?
No.
Let me tell you something.
I told my wife she has to wear it.
Oh my
I go.
gosh.
She goes, I'm gonna wear it with the dog's face out. I go, the fuck you are. You wear it with my face out. Wear it everywhere you go.
But if you try that on when you're chilling at home one day and you're like just wearing shorts or something, you throw that chain on, you might never take it off.
No, I'm afraid to ignite the Italian in me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm afraid to start wearing gold chains and
Yep.
shit and pinky rings.
100% that's what
Yeah,
happens.
I don't want to ignite that part of me.
Yeah. I got it.
When Mike Tyson was fat, one of the things that he said, he did want to work out. He goes, I'm afraid to ignite my ego. Because it did. Ignited his ego. Then he became Mike Tyson again. He goes, I'm afraid to... What was his exact quote when he decided to fight again? He said something like, the gods of war. Yeah, there it is.
That's baller as fuck. Oh, my God.
Cody can wear shit like that because he's a cool dude. Mm-hmm. I'm an old dork. I can't be wearing that.
Oh, that's a good. It's
pretty cool, though.
That's a good gateway. And
I like the Marshall one, though. I'll wear that. The dog's the best.
Yeah.
Golden Retrievers are literally the greatest dogs of all time. They're so different than any other dog I've ever... They're like people. They're so weird.
Yeah.
It's like they're so tuned in. Like, there's all these different things that I say to that dog where he knows exactly what I'm talking about, but it's not like, sit, give me your paw. It's like, hey, man, you want to watch TV? And he just goes running with me into the TV room.
Wow.
And he hops up on the couch with me and cuddles with me.
Amazing.
He's just, my friend Mike says they're all love sponges. That's what it is. It's like a love sponge.
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting a dog, but everybody's told me not to until I'm done with the road.
Yeah, don't.
Come on.
Don't. It's a real problem. You feel bad. You feel bad. Your dog is at getting
It's like
dog
it's
sit,
mine.
or your friend is over your house and they're probably not paying attention to the dog or walking the dog. This dog's the happiest dog that I've ever had, but he's also the dog that I put the most time with. Like, we spend a lot of time together. Like, I throw the ball for him every day. When we lived in California, we ran the hills all the time. It's like we have a relationship. I take him to the studio. He sits in he always throws up in the car unless he's in my car and he's in the front seat. If you're petting him, he won't throw up.
Huh.
But if he's in the back seat, you're gonna hear. It's just something about motion. Some dogs, they get in a car, and that's why they like to stick their head out the window. I think they don't like the motion too. They don't like it just feels, why are we moving? Like, they don't understand. They're sitting and they're moving. They're probably in their dog brain. It's like, what is this?
I got to see my old dog from LA that I haven't seen in like 2.5 years or something like that, maybe 3 years. A few weeks ago, I did a show in San Diego, and my ex came to the show, big theater, and they made it down to the green room, and it was like one of those old soldier reunion videos. Oh, it was unbelievable. She never forgets. It was great.
Yeah, when a dog really loves you.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter has a little Chihuahua Whippet mix named Snoop.
What?
And whenever I see Snoop, he just runs towards me. Like, full blast. Like, literally knows I'm going to pick him up. So he kind of, like, almost launches himself to me. Yeah. He just runs up to me, launches himself to me, and I carry him. He only wants to be carried. Like, everywhere. He wants to give you little kisses on your face, and you want you to carry him.
Amazing.
And he's just so cool. He likes to, but he's a little annoying in that if you watch TV with him, if you're not petting him, he'll paw your face.
Ooh.
Yeah, he'll start doing this. Like, hey, man, don't do that. Stop doing that. Wow. But, he's like 4. Like, I can't really train him now, but I hate, dude, don't fucking do that. It's like, then fucking pet me. It's like this thing where you get this little chihuahua on your lap, and I'm like, come on, man, don't do my face like that. Come on, man. He's like, then pet me. Then pet me. And you just got to keep your hand on him. You can't just keep your hand on him. You have to move it. You got to rub him.
The second you stop moving it, he paws your face. Oh.
Keep rubbing me, bitch.
Wow. What a life. Dogs have it made.
This dog does, though. He's just a fucking little love bug. It's funny because little dogs are generally, like, they're a little weirded out by people sometimes. Not this one. The moment I met him, he jumps to everybody. Everybody's like, you're my friend. Like, everyone's my friend. He just has no worries about people not being his best friend. He just runs right up to him. He's not scared of people. Some little dogs are, like, just weirded out by people.
Yeah, David Lucas's little puppy's adorable.
Oh, he's got a little French bulldog, right?
Yeah.
Ron had that one that got snatched up.
Yeah.
I found some feathers in my yard the other day, and I was worried one of the chickens got snatched. But it's something else, some other bird. We have foxes.
Yeah. What do those come out at night?
They come out in the morning. I've seen them in the morning. I've seen them at night too, driving. But we've got security camera footage of them. It's pretty cool because the security camera is very high resolution. So it's get this video of this cool looking little animal, and they make a weird noise. You ever heard of fox? Oh God, it's so strange.
What does it sound like?
I don't want to do it. Let me hear.
You're good at animal noises.
I'll do it if I hear. I want to hear it again because I forgot exactly how it sounds. Like, there's so many animal noises I have in my head.
We still laugh about the other night a few weeks ago. We were all wasted for some reason doing wolf impressions and Mitzi's. And you came and sat down. We're like, Joe, show us your wolf impression. And you did an actual wolf. We were just howling like morons. And you sounded like there was a wolf in the distance.
Listen to this thing. It's like a scream. It's weird. That's it.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yeah, but when you see them, they're so cool looking. Like, I wouldn't be sad if you only ate like one of my chickens. Don't eat all my chickens, motherfucker, because then I have to kill you.
Yeah.
But if you can get one chicken, one stupid chicken.
Sounds.
Yeah, that's what they sound like.
Fox Sounds is the only Fox channel I don't watch regularly.
I have so many animal noises. This episode is brought to you by Buffalo Trace Distillery. I actually have some Buffalo Trace cigars here they just sent me. One of the world's most award-winning distilleries, including Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and more. And as your business grows, ShipStation will grow with you. But I think the best part about ShipStation, aside from all this automation, is in my head.
I watched this video yesterday. Have you ever heard a cat mimic a bird?
No.
Okay, watch this.
Really?
I mean,
Hell
I'll be
yeah,
honest, it
guys.
doesn't sound exactly like a
Fuck
bird,
yeah.
but this does not sound like a cat.
Oh, wait a minute. That's it. Oh, yeah.
It does different animals out here.
Do you know that I had a bit about that?
Really?
Yeah. I had a bit about this cat that I used to have that was a big old fluffy cat, this like cute little cat, until it saw something outside. And then it became murderous. And like they do this thing when they want to bite. So they it's so weird that you're a beautiful little cat. That was before the JRE, so I didn't know the statistics about cat murder. Or it wasn't before the podcast, before an episode rather, where we talked about how many fucking birds and mammals get murdered by cats every year.
Yeah.
Fucking billions, dude. In America, billions of mammals and birds get murdered by cats.
Scary animal.
They're
I had an
cool.
angry one when I went to college. My brother did, and I lived with my brother. And there were two cats, Hops and Misty. And Hops was cool as fuck, jumped up on the ceiling, just jumped all the time, loved jumping. And Misty was like this angry bitch that would just. It's like you don't really get used to that. There's something even as a human that's 30, 50 times its size. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, you don't want to fight a cat.
Right.
If a cat was trying to fight, think if a rat was trying to fight you, you'd be freaked out.
Yeah.
Just a little rat. Yeah. Dude, everything can kill you.
Yeah.
Everything can kill you. That's one of the more exciting things about hunting in like mountain lion territory. Your hackles are always up. The chances of them trying to kill you are very low. The chances of them killing you if they want to are very high.
Damn.
They're very high. If you get snatched up by a mountain lion. Up by a mountain lion, you have almost no chance.
So for that, you have like a pistol on your side, though.
Yeah, you should keep a pistol if you're in mountain lion territory. If you're in bear territory, you keep a large gun. Not most guys carry rifles, but they'll also carry like if they're bow hunting, they'll carry probably a 45 or a 10 millimeter, a big gun, a gun with a heavy round, and still you're fucked. They're so big. you don't know how big a bear is until you see one in the flesh on the ground in front of you. Yeah, this is one that's this is somewhere in Europe. I think that's a stag, and this bear is just fucking dragging this 300-pound stag around the way you would drag your luggage. I mean, that's a big animal. It's bigger than 300 pounds. I think that might even be an elk. It's either a stag or an elk, but I mean, that's a solid 500-pound animal. Oof. And that bear is just fucking mauling it. And it's not even a big bear. That's not a big one. The really, really, really scary ones are the Alaska ones. The Alaska ones are insane. My friend Steve Ranella told this story on the podcast, as did my friend Remy Warren, who was there as well, where they got attacked by an enormous coastal brown bear. It was like 11 feet. Enormous. It had claimed the elk that they shot. They shot an elk on a hunting trip.
Oh, shit.
And the way Alaska is, they were on this place called a Fognac Island. And a Fognac Island is insanely dense. And so if you're going to pack out, if it's like a certain time at night, like say if you shoot the animal and it's like 5 p.m. and it gets dark at 8 p.m., you can't get it out in time. It takes a full day. And you can't manage your way through that brush in the dark. It's too dense. You go on a mile, it takes you hours, hours and hours to go a mile because it's just so dense. You're just moving through everything. And so they hung this elk up, and they took some of the meat back with them, and then they went back in the morning to pack it out. It's cool, so you don't have to worry about the meat going bad. They didn't realize when they got there that a bear had already found it. Oh, shit. And the bear had claimed it. And so they said, let's sit down and eat lunch before we pack out. So we'll fuel up before we pack out because it's a long pack out.
So at that point, they didn't know that there was
They had no
bear.
idea.
Right.
So these guys are all planning to carry like 100 pounds each on their backs. Yeah. And they're going to go miles and miles through this dense shit that's going to take forever. So they're like, let's eat. So they're sitting there eating, and someone hears something, and they turn, and they see a fucking monster of a bear running straight at them.
Oh, no.
In the camp. And the bear probably didn't realize there were so many of them, and that's maybe the only thing that saved them, because they kind of scattered. And one guy, this dude they called Dirt Myth, he was actually riding the bear's back at one point for like 10 yards on top of the bear's back, and then fell off, and the bear ran off. So the bear was in the woods, like watching them, making noises, like woofing at them. Making these noises, and now they got their rifles out, but no one had a rifle out. No one had anything out. They were all just eating sandwiches.
Wow.
My friend Remy said he had his gun in his bag, like fucking
So let's say you had a gun on your side, like
Jesus Christ, what do you do? Because that thing ran past them.
Right.
What if you shot it and it turned around and ran back? Like,
does the noise scare them at all?
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. And it depends on where you are. Some of them have never seen a person before.
What if you had one of those air horns that's like, "Brrr"?
No.
No.
The bear spray doesn't even work all the time.
It's just an embarrassing way to die. Just
and then it's just fucking tear you apart.
Yeah.
Bear spray doesn't even work all the time. There's that spray that they use. My friend John, he runs a hunting camp in Alberta, the Rivets. John and Jen, they're awesome people. And John had an encounter with a grizzly, and he sprayed it. And he said the bear didn't even react. He said he just kind of walked right through the spray. I was like, oh, fuck. Imagine if that's all you have is this spray, and you're counting on this saving you from the bear, and he just fucking... It's like, you ever seen those videos where dudes get tased, and they just fucking take it?
Oh, yeah.
The cops are tasing the guy. You know, get down. He's like, ah! Like, just dude PCP'd up or something, and he fucking pulls those cords out of him. Like, now what?
Right.
Now what?
Now your cords are on the ground.
Bro, I've only seen one grizzly bear in the wild in my life. They look at you so different. We were talking about this on Bottom of the Barrel the other day. Because, like, a black bear is a different animal. Black bears look at you like, who are you? Are you going to eat me? Am I going to eat you? Like, what's going on? Like, black bears look... Grizzly bears look at you like this, like, how fast can you run?
Oh, God.
There's a darkness in their eyes, dude, that's just, that's a predator with no, that's the apex. They're not scared of nobody other than bigger bears.
Right.
That's all they're scared of. And the one I saw, man, he wasn't even that big. He was like a 6-foot bear, like a younger bear. Maybe 7 foot. Maybe not that big. The big ones, when you get like 10, 11 feet. Oh my God, dude. Jesus. They're just massive killing machines. And they're so durable. That's the thing about them that's so crazy. When you watch them fight, they beat the fuck out of each other and they don't even seem to have marks on them. They're biting the shit out of each other's necks. Although there is one that I saw recently where it looked like the bear got the other bear in the guts and he just made a giant gash in his stomach and they were going to war, like on the side of this, this one person's filming them in the woods. So if that thing's coming after you, man, your frame, like we were talking about a cat, that's what that is. It's like the same kind of thing. It's a wild animal, just much bigger. Like your brain is not even going to correctly compute how much stronger they are than you.
Yeah.
It's an impossible number.
That's crazy.
And if you've ever seen them run, they can run faster than people can run. Yeah, so these two dudes going at each other. Like if that's coming after you, man, these are 1,000 pounds. They're just biting the shit out of each other.
Nice. Got it.
They're trying to tell the other one, get the fuck out of here. This is all my food. These are all my ladies. Get out of here. Bro,
Oh, yeah.
you imagine you're in the woods and you stumble upon that.
That one's pretty dominant there on the right.
Yeah. That's a bigger bear. I think the young one is...
Yeah, these bears don't know jujitsu. There's no
Some of
benefit
them
in
do.
bottom position. Really?
Some of them do. No, there's no benefit in bottom position in bear fight.
Right.
No, they don't have submissions, but they do like have some little hip moves,
Yeah.
little hip escapes,
Yeah.
and they do like position themselves to hold you down. Seems like they've got some experience.
Yeah.
They'll do side control. They're like biting the neck and holding them down like this. If you're a bear and you're on the bottom, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So there's no Charles Oliveira's of the bear world.
Right.
And there's no Paul Craig's of the bear world.
There's a bit of
Snatch
judo.
ups.
They use the other one's energy.
Yeah, a little
against it.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching a funny clip earlier. Chappelle said that Prince judoed him. You seen this? Because Prince took the picture of Dave Chappelle playing Prince serving pancakes. He took that picture and put it on an album cover before he passed away and made that the cover to like one of his last albums. And Chappelle said he judoed me, and Jimmy found, oh, this is it. Yeah, this is great.
Single. Gosh. That makes me so happy that happened. That just made me so happy.
That's a Prince judo move right there.
Is that?
Yeah, watch
pancakes?
this.
Well, no, it's like, you make fun of Prince in a sketch and he'll just use you in his album.
He uses your own joke against yourself.
That's exactly. What am I going to do? Sue him for using a picture of me dressed up like him? It's impossible. That's
genius.
That's checkmate right there.
That's it.
Amazing.
God, I love Dave.
Those fucking sketches back in the day were so impactful.
His show's the best show that's ever existed.
Yeah.
The best comedy sketch show.
No
And
doubt.
it's only 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. That and In Living Color. People sleep on In Living Color. In Living Color was wild. I remember I was playing pool once with my friend John. And I had no idea of the sketches. I didn't understand. I think it was like a Super Bowl thing. Like, did they do one where the halftime they had it in living color? Something like that? They did, right? So that was the first time I'd watched it at the pool hall. And I was like, oh my God, this dude is doing Fire Marshal Bill. Jim Carrey's doing it. I was like, this is crazy. This is the craziest show ever.
Dude, that shit fucking raised me.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it.
Bro, Handyman,
Yep.
he had a mentally handicapped superhero. Jesus Christ, he was called Handyman?
So funny.
Dude, I tell everybody, people forgot how good Damon Wayans is. They forgot for whatever reason because he decided to become a TV star and a movie star. Dude, when that guy was doing stand-up, he was like Chappelle level. He was at his time. He was the guy that I admired the most, like in his prime, because he was in his prime when I was just starting to get to LA.
That's 10.
Dude, he was so
think
good.
that's more.
His stand-up was so good.
They were all a bunch of store
Scary.
guys. Like Jim Carrey was young on this.
Well, Damon always hung out at the store.
Yeah.
Stamina.
He would hang out at the store
It's less stamina.
and
but more damage.
create comedy, like on stage. He would just he didn't worry at all about silence, about dead spaces. He was using it the way Mitzi wanted people to use it, like as a lab to create stuff. And Damon films all of his sets. So he has a tape recorder, like a camera in the back. He films all of his sets. He's had all of his sets since the 90s. He's been doing that. Wow. He just got that TV money, baby.
Yeah.
The TV money came rolling in. It's like, I could just hang out at the house.
There's Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison in living color.
And cut to Jamie Foxx sketch.
Bro, that's right.
And we're going to try to get some last-minute instructions from the coach. We're going to try to get a word from him right now. Here he comes now. Coach, can we get a word from you real quick? Now, what did you tell your players before they left the locker for the second half?
Well, what I told them was just relax and concentrate and play some ball. I mean, you know, you leave the candy.
I don't know the sketches.
No, that's okay. It was a great show, man. So those are, in my opinion, those are the two greatest sketch shows.
Oh yeah. The cast on that's absolutely insane.
I mean, think of that cast. Just the fucking Fly Girls is Jennifer Lopez. Like, what?
Yeah.
She's like one of the dancing girls?
Yeah.
What kind of a cast do you have?
Sing, doesn't say anything.
Jennifer
Just
Lopez
in
is
the
like,
background.
how much talent do they have on that
Yeah.
fucking show?
Yeah.
And Keenan was a great fucking talk show host, too. Keenan made some great movies, and he was great on the Keenan Ivory Wayans show. He was fun, man.
Fire Marshal Bill was based off of the actual West Hollywood fire marshal.
Yeah, who got burnt up.
Yeah.
It was like an electrical thing, right?
Yeah. So Jim Carrey was trying to like come up with characters while sitting in the phones room at the Comedy Store. It's like a legendary thing that you hear about, at least back when I got hired as a phones guy there. Because in the hallway, straight down the hallway, there was this old fire hose that at the time, it's gone now, I'm positive. But at the time, it looked like it hadn't been changed in fucking 40 years. Like this old, it would never work. It was like dried up old hose wrapped up. And you get told the story that Jim Carrey was sitting at that desk facing down that hallway, tapping the pencil on his head, trying to come up with more character ideas. And this burnt up, half a hair, cross-eyed, fucking missing his top lip, scars all over, one eye closed guy came in, checking everything in the electrical sockets and putting butter knives in the sockets and shit. And Jim Carrey's just sitting there writing it all down.
Oh my God. Oh God, the store was such a fun place for like chaos and misfits.
Oh yeah.
It was. We used to always say, like, we're in the
That's a
back
really
parking lot,
nice,
like some schizophrenic
whoa.
person would come back there. We were like, this place is like a magnet.
Yeah.
It's a magnet for insane people.
Yep.
It really is. Like all across the board. Like the original talent coordinator of the Comedy Store, when he got fired and then Duncan became the talent coordinator, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Yeah. When I first started talking to Duncan, we became friends from conversations we'd have over the phone. Because I'd call him like, hey man, did you hear this Ram Dass thing? Like,
Yeah.
you'd start talking.
Yeah.
And we'd start talking about wild shit.
Dude, he's a fucking genius, bro.
So-
I messaged him yesterday because Lil Hobo was a guest on Kill Tony, and it was so funny. I loved it. A lot of the fans hated it because they didn't like Lil Hobo's voice, but like, I don't care.
Yeah, but that's reading comments.
Right, exactly.
You can't.
Well, no, I get my reports from the producers, but yeah, basically, yeah, they told me that.
But they read the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't read the comments.
But anyway, but I loved it so much, I don't give a fuck what the masses say. So I asked Duncan, I go, and this is like a leak of information, but I don't care. I asked Duncan yesterday, I go, hey, I want Lil Hobo to make a video that's going to air during the arena. Like he's taking over the show for a second. Can we come over and shoot just a quick hour shoot anytime this week? You name it, we'll show up. He goes, Lil Hobo's agent is with CAA. His name's Stephen Leibowitz. He's been Lil Hobo's been a real diva lately. And he started sending me AI songs that he can make in like 2 minutes about how I'm not going to do this and I'm bigger than everything.
He just sent me one. He just sent me some AI song.
Oh, they're all
I didn't even listen to it.
hysterical.
Should we listen to it here?
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
he's sent me like 7 songs. He's like, Lil Hobo's making an album, so he's probably not going to want to work with you. He goes, he was complaining the other day that you stole his idea for a variety show. All these texts.
Okay, the healthy lifestyle. He said, dude, I found an AI that instantly makes songs about anything you want and made this in less than a minute. So let's hear it. I haven't heard it yet.
I got a story to tell about a man named David Lucas. Yeah, he's doing well. He's a leader, a motivator, a true inspiration. Always preaching about health, no exaggeration. He wakes up every morning, hits the gym real hard, lifting weights, running miles. He's a health rock star, but it's not just about the physical. Nah, it's more than that. He promotes eating clean, gotta fuel your body fat. David Lucas showing us the way. Live by example, keeping healthy every day. Gotta eat right, gotta exercise, no doubt. He's the one that's pushing us to work.
It made it in less than a minute, he said.
David Lucas eating clean. Oh my
Imagine
god!
if David Lucas made a 180.
Oh, he's
Imagine if he made
he's
a
about 480 right now.
But imagine if he made a 180.
It'd be great. I hope so. I love it. I'd love a story like that. I'd get to make fun of all the extra skin hanging off of his body. He would think the jokes would end. They would just begin.
Yeah, he would have to have an. Doesn't matter what diet you're on. The fact is, nutrients can be hard to get, which is why, as you guys know, I have been drinking AG1 every day for the past 2.5 years. It's a nutritional powerhouse that helps deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more. And I know I am only getting the highest quality because every batch of AG1 goes through a lot of testing. So, if you're going to set any health goals this year, AG1 is where you should start. You can easily incorporate it into your routine. Just mix 1 scoop with water every day, drink, and you're done. It's something I always recommend when people ask me how to elevate your health, and it's why AG1 has been a partner of this podcast for so long. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/Rogan. That's drinkag1.com/Rogan. Check it out. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Like maybe you hire age 8 to have an operation.
Yeah.
That's a heavy operation, too. Your skin is an organ. People don't like to think about it that way, but if your organ has to get cut open and pieced back together, that's real shit. That's real shit. And you run the risk of infection, and infections can fucking kill you, man. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't take that kind of surgery lightly. One guy apparently avoided that. And this is like, I don't know if he's like, see, people have different genetics apparently when it comes to skin, which is why some women get crazy stretch marks and some women don't.
Yeah.
You know, some dudes, they get real fat and then they lose the weight and then they look great and ripped. And other dudes have all this like weird extra skin. Even guys that don't lose too much weight, if you lose like 100 pounds or 50 pounds, like some guys have like crazy extra skin. Like dudes that I know. And other guys just like, you don't look like you're ever fat. This is crazy. So this dude apparently went on a water fast for 365 days. He was really fat. And he just had IV vitamins and water. First of all, what kind of discipline? How do you have the kind of discipline to do that? He went from 382 days, without eating. Okay. In 1965, 27-year-old Angus, he fasted for 1 year and 17 days, ate no food at all, and lost 125 kilograms, which is 19.7 stone. Oh, no. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
125 kilograms is like, I think it's 2.2. So that would be 300 pounds. What does that weigh? What is 125 kilograms in pounds?
2.2. I think that'd be
60
like,
270.
270. 270. Okay, so he lost that much. So you lost 270 pounds. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
He weighed like 480 or something like that.
Okay, Angus reportedly sick of being obese, so he checked into the University Department of Medicine at the Royal Infirmary of Dundee. He weighed 207 kilograms. So that's 440? 450? What is 207 kilograms?
Roughly that.
450? He told hospital staff he was ready to cut out food altogether. So doctors happily agreed to monitor his progress. Oh, so he did it with the doctors. He's like, I don't want to eat anymore. Wow, that's crazy. They didn't expect the fast to last long, but they thought that a short fast would help him to lose some weight. To compensate for his lack of nutrients, he was prescribed multivitamins to take regularly, including potassium and sodium as well as yeast. As days turned to weeks, Angus's persistence increased. The Scot wanted to reach his reported ideal weight of 180 pounds. Wow. So he kept going, much to his doctor's surprise. Angus would attend hospital visits frequently and often stay overnight. He received regular blood tests, all which revealed his body was remarkably functioning just fine. As weeks turned into months, he compensated for his lack of food by drinking more black tea, black coffee, and sparkling water, all of which are calorie-free. His body began to adapt to the lack of food by burning its own fat stores for energy. For the last 8 months, Angus's blood glucose levels were consistently very low. 2 millimole per liter, but Scott did not suffer any adverse effects as a result. In the final few months, he began to have a pinch of sugar or milk in his tea and coffee. For those wondering, he went to the toilet every 40 to 50 days. He shit every 50 days. What is he shitting?
Yeah.
If you don't eat for 150 days, what are you shitting? Angus eventually called it quits after 382 days, having finally reached his dream weight of 180 pounds. Wow. According to Chicago Tribune report, he had forgotten the taste of food before his first meal after the fast. He ate a boiled egg with a slice of bread and butter for his first breakfast, telling reporters, I thoroughly enjoyed my egg and I feel very full. Wow.
Yeah, that's weird.
I wonder what happened to him after that, if he kept it
It
off.
said he died, or 5 years later, he was 192.
He died. How old was he?
Oh, he remained at a comfortable weight 5 years later,
Oh.
196.
So he only gained 16 pounds from eating. That's pretty amazing.
It's weird that they switched to pounds there at the end.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Is that an English article?
I mean,
What's the article?
diabetes.co.uk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
UK. They're weird over there.
Mm-hmm.
They spell tires with a Y. Like, what are you doing? Can we agree? Isn't this the English language?
Yeah.
We invented tires, bitch. We did.
America?
Henry Ford.
Really?
I don't know.
Goodyear, B.F. Goodrich.
Well, Henry Ford invented the car, but I feel like there was a French guy that came along before Henry Ford that invented the internal combustion engine. Is that correct? Like who invented the who invented the very first automobile? Ford was the first to manufacture it.
Yeah, you just fixed the assembly line.
Right.
Who invented?
I know in Akron, Ohio, they mastered the tire. They're still kicking them out there. That's where the big Goodyear factory is. Yeah. B.F. Goodrich.
You know,
all of them.
4 people popped up.
You know what's really weird about tires? They haven't figured out a way to not have them be filled with air and have them perform as good as the ones that are filled with air. It's a stupid thing. First commercially successful internal combustion engines created by, say that guy's name, Etienne Nuot, around 1860. Is that in France? Is that the French guy?
I guess we have 4 people's names popped up.
Oh, different guys who made it?
I don't
I'm
know
guessing
why.
the guy with the last name Otto probably did.
I like that guy's name.
Yeah.
Just because I can't say it. 1860. Okay, first modern internal combustion engine known as the Otto engine was created in 1876. So one guy created it, and the other guy's like, I could do it better. And then he made it better, which is what always happens. Internal combustion engine usually refers to it. You know, it's like, that's just what always happens. You
The
know?
diesel engine was invented by Rudolf Diesel.
Ooh, that's a good name for it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Diesel. I wonder if Shaq knows that. You think he changed his name?
He's got so many nicknames.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually really good at making them up, too. He's got
Yeah,
a lot.
Shaq's the fucking man.
Yeah.
You ever want to feel tiny? Shake that dude's hand. It's like shaking a person, like a whole person instead of a hand. He's so big.
It's insane.
He's so big.
The Rock was huge, too.
Yeah. How fun was it to work out with The Rock? I called Tony Hinchcliffe at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's crazy.
You want to work out with The Rock
I was
today?
so hungover. It was hilarious. I remember I was still on my side when I took the call because your phone rings a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. I'm like, oh shit, what is this gonna be? I'm like, yo. He's like, you want to work out with The Rock? I'm like, yes. It's like up.
I really feel like sometimes that we're not really doing this.
Dude, it's so funny you mentioned that. Literally last night in the fucking green room of the mothership, I'm talking to Hank. Big Hank is sitting there because he's a big Sopranos fan. And I go, dude, I did this podcast with the kids from The Sopranos a few days ago. And it was like we grew up together. It was like we're brothers and sisters because we are all the same age. And I kind of lived very different, but kind of the same way, was living vicariously that type of life, but different. But with them growing up, it was a show that I could relate to. And I go, I think I'm like running out of like cool things to manifest. Like I don't even know what's left for me. And right then, Brigham brings in some guy who I don't recognize immediately. And I shake his hand and I'm like, damn, man, look at you. I feel like you've killed a lot of people or something like that. I said, I was just being goofy. And Brigham goes, you know Ray? And I realize it's Rey Mysterio Jr., one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, who I've been watching for 3 fucking decades. Multi-time heavyweight champion, and he's famously the small guy. So for me and Matt Edgar and every fucking guy just under 40 that wasn't huge or like physically gifted, he was one of our guys. I mean, that's who you like cheered for. He was known as the giant killer because he would beat the big guys. He beat guys that were 7 feet tall. He would shock them doing little guy shit. And I didn't even recognize him at first.
In my day, there were 2 guys that I really loved. The number 1 guy was Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Fuck yeah. Oh, I remember.
When Superfly would get on that top rope and he would do this.
Yeah.
And he'd fucking fly off and bodies, like, what is that called when you land on someone?
That's technically a full body press.
Full body press?
Well,
really?
yeah, he would actually, the full body press is when you lift them over your head and do that, which he would also do.
So when you throw yourself through the air, a splash.
Yeah.
So that was Jimmy Superfly Snuka move.
Yeah.
When he would get on the top rope, everybody would go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And the other guy was Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like Bob Backlund, I'm like, I bet Bob Backlund fuck all these dudes up. Because I understood technique.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's a real wrestler. Like, look how he moves. He moves like a real wrestler. All those other guys are doing crazy shit. See, Jimmy Superfly Snuka did it off the fucking top of the cage. That's so insane. How bad is that for your knees and your back and your brain? The size of him, he was fucking huge too.
Oh, yeah.
But get some Bob Backlund. Show me some Bob Backlund.
Oh man,
Bob Backlund was a legit wrestler.
He played his role so perfectly because I hated him when I was a kid. I was part of that last regime where he was still there when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6, and Hogan was just about to beat him and start like taking over. But he was just this old boring with his blue tights and blue knee pads, right? And like
a real
white
athlete.
shoes. Yeah, and I'm just like, who is this guy?
That's what I like.
Yeah, it wasn't my thing as a kid. I needed something larger than life.
No. I like that dude who looks like a regular athlete, like this guy.
Oh, yeah,
Bob
this is
Backlund.
him way
I
after
remember
his
seeing
prime.
him, but I remember seeing him, and like right away, I'm like, oh, that's a real wrestler. That guy's gonna fuck that dude up. That's a real wrestler.
Yeah.
If you know wrestling, like that's what a fucking killer's built like.
Look at Lex Luger looking at this guy like, what the fuck?
Killers are never built like that, except for Brock. Brock is the only guy who's like a killer. Well, even Alexander Karelin, who's the great, he wasn't built like a bodybuilder.
What is that move?
It's a
nonsense.
Fucking
it's the nonsense move. It's nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, the old. Can you imagine that working in a fight and everybody just going, oh,
just tapping your butt? How about that move? Why doesn't anybody do that in a fight?
The old sunset flip.
Oh, it didn't work.
I know all the names of these stupid moves, by the way. However, I do not know
this is so entertaining. He gets off. I can't fucking believe this.
Yeah.
This is such bullshit.
I'm out of here, but he's got to
Lex
make
Luger's
the 10
so
count.
mad.
He's got to make the 10 count. He's got to turn it around.
Look at
There you
that
go.
glorious haircut he's got. My God. If I had hair, I'd grow it like that. I'd full Theo Von it.
Fuck yeah. Absolutely.
Oh.
Come on, you want a piece of me?
Let me see. Show me some Bob Backlund in his prime.
Yeah.
The
that was
first video I
Bob.
pulled up was 1980, and it was a
Yeah.
video of him and Hulk Hogan, which this is not the Hulk Hogan I know. He comes out in this giant cape.
Oh yeah, this is pre. Everybody's a star.
Hulk Hogan's the fucking man.
Oh yeah.
How cool was it hanging out with that guy?
Well, so what's interesting is after hanging out with him and The Rock, it's really interesting to see how blatant his spinal injury is, because you can see after hanging out with The Rock the 4 or 5 inches that Hogan lost, because like I showed you when we were in here with Hogan, their face-off where they're truly eye to eye is legendary.
Well,
and now they're not.
I met Hulk when he was at full height.
Oh, okay.
I met him outside of a cigar bar in Beverly Hills in like the 90s, something like that. It was early on. It was like I'd only been in Hollywood for a couple of years. And I remember going, Jesus Christ, he was so big. And then the next time I met him, did you ever see that UFC thing I did with him?
No. What did you guys do?
Find that Joe Rogan interviews Hulk Hogan for UFC. What? It was when the UFC, like Spike TV, had wrestling on. And so Hulk Hogan came to do a promo with me and him, and I got to interview him.
Wow.
Oh, dude, I went full pro wrestling.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Let me see it.
You didn't mention this to me, all the arguments we used to have about pro wrestling.
I went full pro wrestling. I was in on it. I was
What?
Yeah. You got to watch how I do it.
Oh my God.
I was like, there's no other way to handle this. I'm dealing with fucking Hulkamania running wild.
Fuck yeah.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you
when
going to
it
do?
runs wild on you?
Here it is.
One of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, sports and entertainment, huge personality, the one and only Hulk Hogan. Welcome aboard, sir. How are you?
Thank you, my brother. You know, to be here with Joe Mania, Dana White, it doesn't get any better than this, brother. These guys are going to war out here. It's unbelievable.
Now, you've been to some MMA fights before. Are you a UFC fan?
Oh, I'm a huge fan, my brother. I sure am.
Now, I understand that you have recently announced a partnership with TNA Wrestling and its president, Dixie Carter, and you're going to be moving to Spike TV. We're going to see some Hulkamania on Spike TV. Tell us more about that.
Well, you know, brother, tonight I got a ton of energy, and I'm partners with Spike, I'm partners with Dixie Carter, I'm partners with TNA, and we just got the green light, brother. On January 4th, TNA Impact, we're going wide open. We're going head-on-head. We're going to battle with a WWE Monday night, January 4th. Hulk Hogan and TNA, we're coming after everybody. We're coming after everybody.
Now, I understand that you recently released a book. You've done a wrestling tour in Australia. When are we going to see Hulk Hogan wrestle in TNA?
Well, brother, I'm going January 4th. Like I said, Monday night. We're going to war, TNA Impact, but you never know. I'm going over there to take over. The Maniacs are coming. All the TNA stars are going to be there, and you never know when the old man with the yellow boots might just step in that ring, brother.
Hulk Hogan is coming back, ladies and gentlemen. TNA Wrestling, live on Spike TV. Hulk's here for the fights. You know you want to watch him on TV.
What you gonna do, brother? You're UFC. On you.
I went off full on.
What are you gonna do? That's the good question. Thank you very much, sir.
I love that. That's amazing. You led that interview well, too. Those were some short answers from him up front. Right back to it. That was good.
Yeah, those are always weird.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Those,
Okay.
Yeah, the weird Spike TV interviews.
Yeah.
I did one with Sylvester Stallone once, too. It was good.
It's a interesting position that you make look easy, interviewing those guys after fights, interviewing people with these huge person. Look at them. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're eye to eye. And there's no DeSantis boots in this, by the way. They're actually that height back in the day. Look at that.
Yeah, Hulk lost like 4 inches.
And meanwhile, when we were working out with The Rock, it was literally like, it was crazy. He's built like...
He's gigantic.
He looks like a superhero in a movie all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Just when he walks in, you look at him like, look at the size of this guy.
Yeah, everything looks small
But
in his
meanwhile,
hand.
couldn't be nicer, couldn't be more humble.
So cool.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Good dude to hang out with.
I'm going to give a little behind the scenes here. I was in a sauna at 185 degrees, sitting in between The Rock and Joe Rogan. So for those of you that grew up without a father, you still have a chance, everybody. So many laughs in that sauna across from Shane and Hassan. And
I thought it was really cool, too, that we decided, like, we don't have to film this. let's just have fun.
Yeah,
Let's just have
exactly.
fun.
Oh.
Because I know he films a lot of stuff for social media. I go, let's just. He goes, I love it. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's just hang out.
And it was so cool.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, and he let me like dictate the whole workout. I had a whole workout planned out.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
We did a real fucking workout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was real.
I was sore. Everyone was sore for a week after that.
Yeah, we did the Tabatas on the bag at the end.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then the Rock did 3 minutes in the cold plunge. First time he had ever been in a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Which is very impressive.
Yeah.
My first time, I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And I did 3 minutes 10 seconds only because I knew I could do longer than The Rock in a sauna and have bragging rights in the sauna for 20 minutes.
You got to be in the sauna with Brian Simpson. He's always looking for a way to get out. Oh, I forgot my socks. Climb out. Your socks? You don't need your socks. Brian has always got like some fucking new reason to get out of the sauna.
He's so funny.
He's got to sneeze.
He is so funny with all that shit.
He got in the other day with his shirt, with like his workout clothes on. I go, you gonna sit in the sauna with your clothes on? He goes, yeah, I should probably take them off. And then he gets out, and I go, and I told him at the end, we were like, you got to stay an extra 30 seconds, bro.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. You keep leaving.
He's a sly dog. He knows exactly what he's doing. I caught him sneaking a cookie the other day out of that Eddie V's bag in the green room. I've been eating clean. I'm at 4 days, no carbs. I walk in, he's just got a cookie. Shame eating. It's so funny to keep an eye on. Because I love it. You know, I know my vices, right? I know I smoke too many cigarettes. I know I drink too much coffee, whatever they may be, right? I have a couple drinks every night. But he's funny because it's like, and I love those people. David Lucas, exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? It's
I lost 35 pounds.
every time.
We were in the green room the other day. I go, how do you know? I go, do you have a fucking supermarket scale at your house? The fuck are you talking about? My scale didn't go that high. There's no way you know how much you weigh. You're not investing in that kind of property, that kind of machinery.
Oh God, it
how much
kills
is
me.
it? Like a regular scale goes to 300 pounds.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, no, we actually...
Like Joey used to talk about that. I can't get on a fucking regular scale, Joe Rogan. It's time to lose weight.
Yeah.
When he first got on Weight Watchers, Joey was like, fucking regular scales don't work.
Yeah, we were doing fat people weigh-ins live on Kill Tony at one point, and we have a scale now that goes up to 4, but it's very hard to find. Those are like rare.
And that ain't gonna work either.
Right.
Like what if Ralphie May got on it?
Right.
Yeah, but someone's bigger than that. You need like a supermarket scale.
Yeah.
They put sides of beef on it and shit.
Yeah.
Did you see those? There's like these 5 or 4 fitness influencers that are like not fitness influencers, body positive influencers that are telling people like, you know, you can be as fat as you want. They're all dead. They all died like within. Blair White has here. I'll send it to you, Jamie. Blair White has this clip. It's fucking. It's mean, but it's also hilarious because it's just like, oh God, like yeah, it's not good to be that big, kids. It's just not. Like no matter what anybody tells you, if you have a fat doctor, like no matter who it is, that's just a massive strain on your body that you really don't need. You shouldn't have. It's not something that's normal. It's something that's insane. It's something that's only existed with human beings over the last, 50, 60 years. People were never that big. Jesus Christ.
I was at a Starbucks at the airport this weekend in Florida, and one of the baristas was double masked, and I could just see the top of her head because she was like behind the espresso machine, and it looked like a thick head. And then and I'm like, because, I'm intrigued by the entire thing. I see a double mask. I'm like, what's going on here? And then she moved away for a second to go grab another cup, and she was hugely, massively obese. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, so.
Did you find it? Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Double mask, but unhealthy as fuck.
But the Instagram one is funny because it's like, he's dead. She's dead. They're dead. I'm trying to find it. I swore I saved it. I love that you can save things on Instagram because Tom Segura and I have this thing we do every day. We send each other the worst shit we find. It's a real problem.
What a fucking bitch.
Because neither one of us is going to tap out. And everyone is trying to find like the most fucked up things. Instagram is they're showing you some of the most fucking insane things.
Oh yeah.
They're showing you so many insane things.
Oh, I love it.
Murders, car accidents, people getting crushed at construction sites. Like, God damn.
Yeah.
There's so much. Here it is. I found it, Jamie.
They're on a whole new level.
But I don't understand how it's getting through. Like, they must know that all that stuff is being shared, but they must also know that they're getting so many clicks from that they have to, like, allow it to stay on. They have to. They must know.
It's being shared like crazy.
Tom and I are, like, every day, dude.
Yeah.
Every
Me and
day.
Adam Egget, me and Yoni. I have a ton of them. I mean, Shane's a fun one. Anything with
big Fruit Loops.
He's dead. Join me on my Fat Positive radio show, which didn't last long because she died.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Hey, I got the big Fruit Loops.
Yeah, that's it.
He's dead. Join me.
I
Jesus
love it.
Christ.
It's real. People need to see that.
It's one of the worst things. Being overweight is one of the worst things for your health.
Yeah.
It's a constant tax on your body.
If we're all born with the same size heart and you have to lug around all that shit and other people don't, it's pretty blatant.
Also, if you lose the weight, you'll have amazing leg muscles. I was saying that to Stavros. He showed me his calves. Stavros' calves are like watermelons.
Yeah.
They're giant.
He's got calves on those cows.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Sweating.
If you're carrying around that much extra weight, like, boy, if you lost the weight, you'd be so fit. You'd be so strong. You get into Muay Thai, be fucking people up.
He's into pad thai.
Ah, you can't,
Can't help
yourself. It's always there. That's so quick.
Oh man,
That's the
we
Kill
just
Tony
taped.
gene.
We just mass taped a bunch of episodes of Kill Tony, so that we could take a few weeks off after these arenas, and so I'm in like
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah, full on mode.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Didn't you do 2 last night?
Yeah, 2 last night and 2 the night before. Some epic moments. Perhaps one of the greatest. And this is me tooting my own horn, but one of my greatest interviews ever with a big trans comedian, like a hefty, looked like 100% like just like a big woman, steps up and goes, "Hey, so here we go," and like the whole room has its attention. Where at first we were
Funny?
all,
Okay.
very new, very new. But I will say this is rolled with everything. It's an epic interview because I'm going pretty hard because she's laughing at everything, and I find it to be like, okay, we have this, and everybody wanted it, and everybody needed it, and it makes her look good, and everyone won.
Nice.
But there was a part where I literally go, so I gotta ask, and this might be disrespectful. What direction are we going here? What did you start as, and what are you going for? I know you're trans, but like I don't even know. Are you
This boy to girl, girl to boy?
Oh man, and she's laughing too because it's
that's
like she
funny.
knows what's up.
I'm sure you're aware of this, but that lady got arrested who was on your show saying that she stormed the Capitol.
Yeah.
The feds came and got her. They're like, oh, yeah?
I found out about this last night
Yeah.
in the middle of a show, but didn't even have time to think about it or
Yeah.
read the articles.
Yeah, they're going hard after people that went into the Capitol.
Red Band mentioned that it may have been because of our show.
It is because of your show.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's how the feds are watching the show.
Oh, my.
Shout out to the FBI. I swear to God, I was in there. I wouldn't go there. I'm not into that. It's not my thing.
Damn. That's wild. Oh, man, I got her in. Well, she got her in trouble.
Yeah, it's not good to brag about breaking into the fucking Capitol. I was first wave up the stairs. She shouted the microphone. January 6th video footage shows I took a little pepper spray. I didn't think I'd ever be sprayed by cops in my own country. I support the police. The arrest warrant states the FBI confirmed the couple's identity through cell phone and credit card records, flight and hotel bookings, and physical surveillance of their Santa Ynez home. They surveilled their homes. In June, Jones defended her actions while speaking at a comedy show in Austin. Jones said she did not do anything that she thought was illegal. She only entered a public section of the building, not a private office or any other restricted area. I've been to the Capitol multiple times. There's never been any reason not to go in. Well, that's just dumb. That's just being dumb. If you see a mob storming into the Capitol, like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Because didn't they arrest people that didn't go in?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, they put that one dude in jail from InfoWars. What is his name? Owen? Owen, I forget how to pronounce his last name. But I think he went to jail for like 7 months. And he was never even there. What did he go to jail for? 2 months. Was he sentenced for 7 months? Or was it 70 days?
Prosecutors said he, quote, helped create by spewing violent rhetoric and spreading baseless claims of election fraud to hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Wow.
Pled guilty to illegally entering a restricted area.
What area is that? So did he go into the Capitol?
Says he didn't enter the Capitol, but he led a march to the building and led rioters and chants. Yeah. He's among only a few people charged in the riot who neither went inside the building nor were accused of engaging in violence or destruction.
Here's where he fucked up. Should have joined the FBI first.
1 sec. I'm back. Why do I always get
Join the FBI
kicked?
first.
Here, do this then.
If he joined the FBI and then did that, they'd be like, good job. Got everybody to go in there.
Crazy. I don't know what's going to happen next. The reason why I didn't get to read about that article is because when I checked the news right before bed after a long night last night, all I could see was that Colorado voted to have Trump off the ballot.
There's so much wild shit going on, dude.
That there, and I rarely am like, oh no, with the news, but that one there scares me.
The guy that did Ex Machina just did a new movie called Civil War. That's coming out.
This is what that's exactly what I pictured.
Have you seen the trailer? Let's play the trailer because it looks dope. And that Ex Machina guy, what is his name, Jamie? Alex Garland. He's the shit. That Ex Machina is one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie gives me the creeps every time I watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I was that guy and that robot was talking to me, I'd get seduced too.
Yeah.
She's so hot. She's so hot, and she knows how to pull strings.
The United States Army ramps up activity. The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The future president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
We're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death.
Bloody.
Every time I survived a war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Yeah, bro. This can really happen. You tell me that dude who said, what kind of American are you? Tell me he doesn't have a Trump flag on his truck? What are you doing? Those are the people with the guns. You're picking a fight with them? If they really think, rather, that you're trying to steal the government, if they really think you're trying to subvert democracy by using the 14th Amendment, which is insurrection, which I believe, check this, make sure this is correct. I believe they created that amendment because of the Civil War. And I believe they created that amendment to keep people that fought against the Union Army from holding elected office. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Former officers of the Confederate Army.
I think anybody who's in the Confederate Army, I think anybody who was in the insurrection, like say if you were, I think even if you were a soldier, I think it was to stop that.
Yeah.
Which is why meanwhile, it's a legal term. Again, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a legal scholar.
Right.
I think the term is very specific, like what it means. So Trump has neither been indicted nor convicted for insurrection.
Right.
But if you're pulling him off the ballot for insurrection, that seems crazy.
And again, it's like, of course, every other state with a Democratic or liberal-leaning Supreme Court is going to follow this lead. They don't want to be behind Colorado. They're going to go, we have to show America that we're more woke than, we're more aware than Colorado.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. There's no better time than the new year to resolve to protect your identity and finances. Identity thieves can take out loans in your name, take over and drain your banking and investment accounts, and more. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect your identity and financial future. LifeLock monitors your accounts and credit and detects potential threats to your identity that you may miss on your own, even if you monitor your credit. And if you do become a victim of ID theft, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Plus, all plans are backed by the and safety net, Policy Genius.
Let's do this.
If that happens, that's a very scary thing. That's very scary because regardless of what you think about Trump as a personality and this air quotes threat to democracy, what is democracy if it's not people having the ability to choose an elected leader? What is democracy? Like, what are you saying? Threat to what? If you are literally subverting democracy because you think someone's a threat to democracy, you're a threat to democracy.
100%.
Just by what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just because people believe that this one person is absolutely that's the whole reason why people have elections. One group has to make a case that they would be better leaders and they have a better plan. They have a better path forward for America. If you think they're wrong, the whole idea of democracy is you're supposed to have a better case. That's what the debates are for. That's what the campaign trail is for. When they stand in front of the people and they tell the people, when I become president, I will fix this and I will fix that. And everybody goes, yay. That's what they're doing. Now, if you're saying that they can't do that, that's a threat to democracy. If you're saying they can't state their case, if you're saying they literally can't be on the ballot.
Right.
Because that's insane.
Yeah.
And it's 4 out of 7 chose that. 4 said yes, 3 said no.
It's crazy.
Is that correct? 3 or 2? 3 said yes, 2 said no?
It was 4 to 3.
4 to 3. So 4 said yes, 3 said no.
Check an article the BBC put out.
What does it say?
It's for now. This only is for the state's primary election.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to probably be held up in court for appeals past the deadline, which is January 4th. So it might not matter.
Why would it not matter?
Because it's going to have it wouldn't affect his ability to be on the primary ballot, according to what this is saying. If it doesn't go in effect until January 4th, and then it's held up in court because of an appeal, then they can't block him from being on that ballot. It's also not for the presidential ballot, which would be in November.
One thing, if there was no allegations of criminal activity from the current president, if the current president is someone like Barack Obama, who is way better president by everyone's account, the way he holds, whether or not you believe his policies, whether or not you think that he did a good job with drone attacks and whistleblowers, all the things that he said he was going to do that he didn't do. Put that aside, just as a spokesperson, just as a representative of the country, a guy smarter than us, who's out there, speaks measured and calm, a real statesman. But you don't even have that. Like, you got this guy who's
dead shell of a old seashell.
And on top of that, there's a bunch of shit that he's involved with that looks super sketchy. A bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of things.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many business dealings.
The money
that
that
have
we've
questions.
given to Ukraine is just crazy. And we weren't really hearing of Ukraine until before he was president, his son's dealings with Ukraine. And then all this stuff with Ukraine starts happening. And they get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars.
I think it's over 100 billion. But here's a question, because they were just talking about this today. Are we really funding a portion of their government? Are we funding as American taxpayers? I think what this person was saying was that we are funding a percentage of their schools, their elected officials. We're funding a certain percentage of that too. We're like keeping their government afloat.
Seems like it. I mean, who wouldn't move some money from that account into other accounts?
No, but I think that's part of the deal. That's like above board. Forget about what's happening.
Right.
Where money's getting siphoned off.
So it's like known that we're funding their government.
I think so. That's what this person was saying. I don't know if this is correct. That's why Jamie's got to get on it. Damn. But it's one of those things where it's like, wait a minute. When does this end? Is this another one of them 20-year deals? Is this another one of those Afghanistan deals? Have you ever seen the breakdown of the amount of money that we spent in Ukraine and what that could have done for America?
Mm-mm.
It's insane. It could have given everyone in Maui, everyone who lost their home, some insane amount of money, rebuilt Maui many times over. It could have fixed all of our infrastructure. It could have secured the wall. It could have. There's like so much money that have gone into education, homelessness, all these different problems that we have in America that are like key problems that keep coming up over and over and over again. It makes you wonder. It really does, because if they really did spend $100 and whatever billion in Ukraine that they could have spent in America, what if someone did that? What if someone said, "Yeah, I know this is going to raise taxes. I know this is going to raise inflation, but if we spend this money in America and we fix all these problems, the next generation coming up, we've showed statistically we will be 20% better off. We'll have 20% less crime. We'll have 20% less incarcerations." If they could come up with some number that they could show you, everybody would be kind of like, yeah, taxes are more, but this is a real plan to like actually rebuild America. And there's discussions of it on the news every day. There's people like, fuck rebuilding America. What we need to do is this and that and that and this and green energy and all this shit. If there was that and this was our dispute, how much better would the world be?
Yeah. It would take a businessman who's like anti-war and could bring like peace to the Middle East and have all the other crazy world leaders in check.
Yeah. Did you see Vivek Ramaswamy? You know who that guy is?
Oh, yeah.
Van Jones, listened
yeah.
to his speech, was saying that it's like he's going to be around 50 years longer than Trump. And so he does a speech out. He goes, Van Jones, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. And when I saw that, I'm like, more of this, dude.
Trump opened up the door to that kind of shit.
Yeah.
He really did. When there was no politicians before Trump that you ever even heard swear.
Yeah.
When Trump was talking about China, he goes, you can say, you know, we want to negotiate, we want to do this, or you can say, listen, motherfucker. And people are like, yes, talk like a real person.
Yes.
Talk like a real person.
Yeah.
That's what the world is missing. People talking like real people.
Right. Obama was such a good politician, such a good people speaker that he kind of like beat the video game. Yeah. Now we need a new video game. You know what I mean? And Trump was that, a real human.
Have you seen where they face swapped that lady who's the White House press secretary with Obama?
No.
It's when she's talking about how there is no evidence at all that Obama is secretly running the government. It's simply not true. And it's her face swap with Obama. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I saved it. I'm really good at saving all these stupid posts that I find every day. This is why I can't be on this phone. This phone has...
I didn't even know you could do that. I go a long way because I'm like an old man on Instagram, so I mail them to myself.
Well, that works too.
Yeah.
But you can have little folders. Like I have little folders. I've had folders for conspiracies and.
Is that what that like bookmark looking thing is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you click that. Where is it? What do I have it under? I think I have it under government. I have too many categories. I have disasters. The disasters one is insane. There's so many disasters that you can find on the internet now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this.
I like, I think it's thieves getting fucked or robbers getting fucked, where people try to steal things and they run into like a cashier with a gun.
Oh, those are always fun.
Yeah.
I have an entire folder dedicated to Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
All the most ridiculous shit she says.
Everything. She can't do anything. Has she ever said anything not crazy? Oh, this is hysterical.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, you found it, Jamie. Thank you.
Why'd I? Oh my God.
Master for this administration, but there's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that Obama is Joe's puppet master.
Dude, this is
There's
so
none.
annoying, man.
Absolutely none. None. And that is just a fact. You can't say that it looks like my hair is the dirty mop the janitor is looking for. You can't say that it looks like I lazily slapped on some of Big Mike's lipstick and horrific
AI.
That's wild.
AI is insane. I mean, we are going to have no idea what's real or what's fake within a couple of years.
Yeah.
We don't know. We just don't know.
Right.
You could have everything from people crying about a crime that never committed. Like you could have like a disaster that's fake, and a bunch of fake people crying about that disaster and telling their story of what happened, and they're not even real people. They're just it's all CGI. You're going to be able to, like, there's no telling. Committing crimes, natural disasters.
Right.
You're never going to know. Yeah. Speaking of natural disasters, did you see that video? They got a volcano camera that's pointed at this camera in Iceland, and they caught it the moment the volcano erupted. Oh, it's wild. Iceland has some volcanoes, son, and they pop. They popped a few years back. Remember, the flights were fucked up and no one could fly. You remember that?
In Iceland?
Yeah. When the problem is when they eject all that stuff into the atmosphere, you can't see.
Right.
So it takes like a long time for that stuff to go down where people can fly. Watch this. It's really cool.
The volcano.
Yeah, it went boom. Look at that. That's it popping. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
They caught the moment it blew. So it's spraying, and the video of it going down the mountainside, this is the video of it going down the mountainside. How amazing is that, man?
That's crazy.
The literal blood of the earth pouring out of a fucking staph infection.
Oh, my God.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Unbelievable.
That's how continents are made, kids.
Wow.
That's how Hawaii got made. Fucking, these dudes are just chilling. Goes off every couple of years. So what happened was that volcano went off, and there was a Rolling Stone reporter that was embedded, I think it was in Iraq, and they got too comfortable with this dude being around, and because he was stuck because he couldn't fly out, so he was there a lot longer than he was supposed to be, and he reported a bunch of shit that they had said about Obama. Is that Mount St. Helens? Oh, that's the other one?
It's the 2010 eruption.
Yeah, so this was when it happened. Wow. So
I don't know how to say that.
What was the guy's name? The reporter, Michael Hastings. So he reported that this general was like being very dismissive of Obama and insulting Obama, and he printed it in the Rolling Stone. And so this general had to resign. And so when this general resigned, this guy Hastings is fucked. He's fucked. Right, and he starts saying, "Hey, I think people are following me. I think people are trying to kill me."
He was still in Iraq at the time.
No, he came back to America, and so he was. So listen, so he's saying that and then his car goes 125 miles an hour on Sunset Boulevard right into a tree.
Yeah, he had an electric car, right?
No, there was no electric cars back then.
Or it was
McChrystal's exit. Yeah, volcanic intervention. So the volcano blew up, and this guy got stuck there. It says "The Runaway General" is the title of this story. And so this guy Michael Hastings, this is like the conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
because his car goes 125 miles an hour right into a fucking tree, boom, and blows up. The engine was like, it wasn't like a regular accident. Like, it was a big one. Like, it was a big fucking accident. And either he did it on purpose, like he was trying to kill himself. Like, this is it. There's a video of it. I mean, this dude is fucking flying down the street.
Tony, for your reference, it's in L.A. off La Brea.
Oh, it's
down
off
La Brea,
oh,
off of Santa Monica.
Look at that. Look how fast he's going. Boom.
And he hit one of those giant palm trees that's in the middle of the road there.
And look at that explosion.
It wasn't.
I thought it was on Sunset. It was no, it was on
no,
Sunset.
he was going down La Brea south, I believe.
Okay.
It wasn't a self-driving car.
No. But it was a Mercedes.
2010. They didn't have them then.
No, but what they did have is technology that would allow.
Right.
They had computers in cars back
Yeah,
then. And so the question was,
right?
Do we have the technology to take over someone's car? All you'd have to do is just make it accelerate. You wouldn't necessarily have to point it towards a tree.
Oh yeah.
You just have it go 120 miles an hour. If you don't
Gonna
care
run
about
into
who
something.
it hits,
Yeah.
if you don't care about the other people, which
Say it's the middle of the night, which I think this was, right?
Yeah, you just hit it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this guy can't slow his car down. It's impossible to slow the car down. It takes over the engine. Takes over. You don't have to be able to steer it.
Right.
You don't have to have self-steering technology. Just have control the accelerator.
Oh yeah.
And if you have a computer, if the car is run by a computer, which was this a 2010 car? What kind of car was it?
I believe it was I'll have to check now. Hold on.
I want to say it was a Mercedes.
I know it was a Mercedes, but I don't know the actual year the car was.
Listen, they had that ability back then. They had the ability to do that to the enemy if they want. Like if you're in Afghanistan or whatever, and you want to make someone's car, if you could rig it like that, I'm sure they could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a computer in the car, 2010, it's not that long ago. Seems like it is. 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years ago is crazy to think the technology has moved so far from 13 years ago. Like if it was today, you would say 100% they could do that.
Yeah.
But I think they could do that 13 years ago. And so that was the big conspiracy theory that they whacked this dude because he got McChrystal fired.
Damn.
Which they probably did.
Yeah, they can. And the more we find
They might
out,
have.
the more it seems like that stuff happens quite a bit.
And then there was some talk about his.
Real quick, not to interrupt, but yeah, like, isn't that insane how hard it is to find a group when you first sting? I'd understand if this is like phase 5 or whatever, and this is like the final dungeon, but there's no way that they expect me to have the gear score needed to get gear score. It doesn't make sense. I know I could buy some more blues and stuff from the auction house, but why am I gonna spend all this money to get stuff that it's the like? Then why even do the dungeon? I'll just buy all blues. You know what I mean? Yeah, there might be a couple upgrades and stuff, but it's insane. Honestly, it's insane. So I'm really hoping that I don't let them down and I'm able to keep up with DPS. I think with Consecration I should be fine because, yeah, it's very strong. I will a lot, though, and I should have mana, which I don't. Potions, I mean. Potions and juice. But, holy moly, man. Anyways, I'm gonna get right back into it. Sorry.
About his blood work. They did blood work on Hastings after he's dead, and he tested positive for amphetamines. But the dirty secret about journalists is a lot of them are on Adderall. A lot of them. Mm-hmm. It's how they make deadlines. Like for the guys that I know that have taken it, they've been pretty forthcoming about it and saying it's a life changer. It's just like I get so much shit done. Of course, you're on meth.
Yeah.
You're on amphetamines.
Yeah.
So they were saying that he was on amphetamines, he was just cranked out of his mind, and he did that on purpose, which is a possibility. You fucking never know. Sometimes if people think the government's trying to kill them, maybe they crack under pressure.
Yeah.
And they just fucking, I can't take this anymore. I'm just going to drive into a tree.
That's a weird way to kill yourself.
It is, but it's not outside the realm of possibility. Right. But also, if you wanted to have a juicy conspiracy narrative, you wanted to go all Sam Tripoli on that.
Yeah. Very suspicious.
Yeah. It's very suspicious.
Especially since he could have killed himself going full Joe versus the volcano, right? That would have been the classy way to do it when he had a chance.
Well, he wasn't near the volcano.
Right.
Yeah, if he wanted to take a flight over, yeah, he can't. Yeah, but he wasn't. He didn't know that they were going to come for him after that. But that's what they do in that world. They try to take things down. You know, if you're a journalist and you're embedded with these guys and they say something juicy, you can take them down with this juicy thing. This is just what you do, whether or not it's good for the country or not. And that guy was beloved. Apparently, he was just great general. And now all of a sudden, he's not a general anymore because of a reporter. Oof. Right. And who are his people? The people that are like the professional killers of the world.
Yeah.
That are legally allowed to kill people.
And secretly.
Come on.
Yeah. Guess what, fuckface? You just made a big mistake.
Fuck.
I wish I was his friend. I know that's what your job is, but you can make a juicy article just about how hard it is over there and how crazy it is over there. Yeah. Wouldn't that be better? Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to, like, instead of like some backhanded shit that he's saying to the troops, which they all believe anyway? Right. Like, what do you care?
Yeah.
Don't report that, dude. You're gonna get him in trouble. Why would you get that guy in trouble? Yeah. It's just such a dangerous game you're playing.
It is wild. It makes me worry about, I mean, Trump is such a threat, supposedly, to the military that wants to do things, and he wants to bring them back, which he's proven time and time again. And, like, I don't know.
There's a fucking hilarious video of Rosie O'Donnell.
Mm-hmm.
She put up, like, she was watching the UFC. She goes, I'm watching the UFC, and then Trump comes on and ruins it. Come on, UFC, you got to do better.
Oh,
She's
thank
so
you.
bad.
Thank you, Rosie.
She's
They all
so
care.
bad.
Everyone at the UFC cares about your
But
opinion.
it's
so
not
much.
just having that opinion, which is like, I get it, because he said a lot of, like, fucked up things about Rosie.
Oh, he ruined her. She's gone.
Yeah.
Because of
When
him.
Megyn Kelly was saying that you've said all these disparaging things about not all women, just Rosie O'Donnell.
Boom.
Boom.
She was done.
It's like a comic.
Yep.
I mean, it's like literally a Kill Tony guest.
Yep.
But have you found the video of her saying it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't listen to it. I think it's this one.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Ugh, look
Play
at
it.
her.
I like
All
Rosie.
you racist MAGA people.
No, this
He's
isn't
killing
it.
cover.
No, that's not it. It's
Cuts to that. So unless maybe she deleted it or
she might have deleted it. She might have deleted it. That was a hard one, man. Because Leon, at the end of the fight, when he was talking about his dad, and he was almost crying when he was talking about him, taking his father's murder and turning it into entertainment, and his voice was cracking. I was like, oh shit, don't make me cry, Leon.
Ugh, Trump just arrived at the UFC 296 because he loves Colby Covington.
Donald Trump's biggest
Casey. It was the UFC. Do better. I love that.
Why did they all look alike? Why do all these? Why does she look exactly like Keith Olbermann?
She doesn't. Keith Olbermann's
man,
way
they're
more
all
insane
over
than her.
here.
He's insane. Did you see Keith Olbermann went after Riley Gaines?
Who's Riley Gaines?
Riley Gaines is that lady that lost to Leah Thomas, or the one who, yeah.
Oh wow.
So she's the real, winner,
Yeah.
female winner.
Yeah.
And this male competes as a female and beats her. And so Keith Olbermann said some ridiculous shit about she doesn't have any athletic accomplishments. And so she makes a video in response showing all the awards that she's won.
Yeah.
Like, she's like a serious fucking accomplished athlete. She's an amazing athlete. But for this insane fuck to say this, but you got to see the video because
What
it's
a fall
pretty
from
amazing.
grace. He used to be so long ago, but he was part of that essential Sports Center crew, the glory days of ESPN. Him, Stuart Scott.
He was great.
Dan Patrick. It was a dream team, and I would love to know what fucking soup he's been eating or what is in his diet. Or
he's vegan.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. There's clearly.
Sometimes there's
something's
things where it's
wrong.
like. Sometimes there's just things where it's like, don't you see? Don't you see?
Yeah, duh.
A big one. And I know we're switching subjects here, but a big one that I saw 2 days ago, and I didn't even send it to you because I'm like, I can't even. I have to talk with you about this. Is Canada's overall life expectancy?
Yes.
It might be the craziest statistic in the world right now. You've seen this, right?
Yes.
Since 1930, of course, it goes this way, this way, this way, this way, because you fucking live longer because fucking technology and medicine And then 2020 it levels, and then it starts to go down. It's down 2.5 years since 2020, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Unprecedented. What could that possibly be from?
I don't know, Tony.
Weird.
So strange. It's not like there was a gigantic medical intervention that was forced upon the population during that time period.
Again and again, and booster and booster and booster.
And you're not allowed to say it, or you're a conspiracy theorist.
I guess
These people they're in a fucking trance because being on the side of reality and facts is so against the narrative that the liberals were correct that they're willing to ignore excess deaths. They're willing to ignore an increase in all-cause mortality. That's shocking.
Yeah.
They're willing to ignore it.
And they're the trust the science people, but only when it leans to their favor.
Dude,
the
I
science
stumbled.
says there's something terrible that happened.
I stumbled into this group of people talking on Twitter about I'm always going to call it Twitter. I tried X for a while.
Yeah, it's impossible.
What am I doing? Am I tweeting or am I Xing? What am I doing? It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of people that were talking about masking and boosting. And this is the reason why, even though they've got COVID 5 times, every time they get it, it's fairly mild. Yeah. Last time I was only sick for a week. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they're not reading the news at all. And I think it's baby boomers. Robert F. Kennedy was talking about that. Bobby Kennedy Jr. was talking about that. He was saying he was talking to Patrick Bet-David. He was saying that baby boomers are the ones who believe all the bad things about him because they get their news only from TV.
We know. We know a Texan.
We know a guy.
We know a guy.
Boy, I get him all the time now.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, we corner him now with facts. Well, that one seems like a conspiracy. That one seems legit. Is that true? Yeah, this is... Did you know that...
We're going to turn him. It's going to be a glorious day when he comes in,
one day.
In the center.
One day, just catch him in the right mood.
It is exactly that, by the way. Call me crazy, but I trust the news.
Yeah.
And it's such a slippery, dangerous road. And it totally is that. My mom's 76, and, she listens to me on everything. But some of those things, she's like, you gotta be kidding me, Tony. You don't really think he's a good president. I'm like, look, but everybody's got money. There's no war right now. You're not seeing any of this? And then, boom, there's Biden, and fucking a cantaloupe is $23 or whatever. But what was oh, man. Fuck, I said something I wanted to say and I lost it. I clicked on this article from CNN yesterday because I still love going to CNN.com just to see what fucking chaos they're pushing. And sure enough, there's a good one on the number 2 or 3 spot that says new COVID strain dominating the Northeast. And I click on it because I'm like, okay, let's see. And it's dominating. What it's actually doing is it's just a new, obviously, the evolution of the strain, and it just jumped the main strain that was above it. It's a natural thing that happens all the time. But because it's the new main strain, which is always changing, right? The new one is always jumping the old one. Now it's dominating. This new strain is dominating the Northeast, which is just, they're just saying that's taken over. But the headline doesn't say that, right? The headline looks like, whoa, here it comes. Buckle down for the holidays again. It's so interesting that people can't see that these people, even the baby boomers, can't see what's happening.
It's a cold now, okay? Mm-hmm. So if it's a cold now, imagine if the news freaked you out every time the cold was going around.
Yep.
Do you know how nuts that would be? If the news was telling you that you had to get an experimental medical intervention every time the cold came around.
Yeah.
Even though you keep catching the cold. And the news never tells you, hey, you got to lose weight. The news never tells you, hey, time to get in shape. Hey, time to start taking vitamins. Right. Hey, time to start sleeping better.
Yeah.
Hey.
Drink a lot of water.
The news doesn't tell you that. It tells you only have to get chemicals. Chemicals injected into your body. That's the only way you can fix this.
Yep.
We have to just keep injecting chemicals into our body. It's the only way to get better.
And now a commercial from Burger King. Right after that.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. But boomers, They grew up with the news. They never really got into the internet unless they get into Facebook groups.
Yeah. I read another crazy statistic today that I think it's like 13 to 35-year-olds are off of Facebook. It was 77% 10 years ago, down to like 30% today.
The only dude I know who uses Facebook is my friend Tommy Jr., and he's 50.
I could see why Tommy Jr. would be on Facebook.
Tommy's
He's old
always
school.
on Facebook. Yeah. I don't even have Instagram. I don't even use it. He's going to come on the podcast. We're going to do a podcast together.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah. He's one of my longest running friends. We've been friends for 30 years.
Yeah.
I knew that dude when he was 19 and I was 24. That's when we met.
He's so fun to watch play pool. Just a real, Boston / New Yorker /
Connecticut.
Yeah.
He's from Connecticut. That's what That's what Connecticut is. You nailed it without nailing it.
Yeah.
Like Connecticut really is like Boston and New York had a kid.
Yeah.
It's like half Italian, half Irish, whatever it is. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that's what Connecticut is. It's a
Yeah.
combination of Boston.
He would love the sweatsuit that I'm rocking.
But
right
Tommy Jr.'s got his own accent. When he comes on the podcast, people are gonna go, "Oh shit, that's maybe my best impression is Tommy Jr."
Oh yeah, he's great. Hey, you got any of that good
Dude.
stuff? He's smoking.
Dude,
smoking.
what are we doing?
He's gonna hit something.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
There's a picture I took of Tommy Jr. when we all did a show together in Atlantic City. Remember? And he had Atlantic City had weed stores.
Yeah.
And he took I think it was like a 250 milligram edible. We're eating. See if you can find that photo of Tommy Jr. baked out of his mind. Look at him. How is it? 300 milligrams? What does it say underneath it? 300. 300 milligrams. Look at him. Dude, don't leave me. Stay close. Do you mind if we hold hands? I've been friends with that dude forever. Forever and ever.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
And he would have been like a legit top of the food chain pool player if he didn't retire because he realized there was no future in it. If he didn't stop playing all the time. He was one of the best players in the world when he was like 19, 20 years old. He was a killer. But he was like, there's no future. He tells a story about watching this guy, Neptune Joe Frady. Neptune Joe Frady was a legend in New Jersey. Neptune Joe from Neptune Billiards. And he had like half his teeth, and he had a cigarette in his hand while he was playing. He would play with his mouth open like this. He was a killer. But he would play like, he would like get into this like trance, and his like mouth would be open. He goes, I'm watching this guy, and I'm sweating it out. We're playing for like $200. And he doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in or a window to throw out of it. I can't win. I can't win. This guy's a killer. And I'm realizing, like, is this my future? What the fuck?
I just realized that.
My favorite, when I think of funny things about Tommy, a big one, because you're obviously always commentating. You're in the fucking super zone next to the octagon. But your homies are flanked to the back right of you. And something that always happens, you might not even know this, actually, but it always happens to him, is there'll be a great fight happening, and he'll take a picture. He likes taking pictures while the thing's happening. I don't play these games because I don't want to miss a fucking thing. I know how this goes.
That's
So
decent
he'll
straight.
take a picture.
I gotta make it.
And if a knockout happens, you can bet the house that he will be posting that picture and have his head down for that moment. And just, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like he always misses a fucking head kick or a fucking place goes wild and the lights go up and he doesn't even know what happened.
Also, Tommy can barely see.
Right.
So when he's looking down at his phone,
right.
He's got to like, is that a T or a W?
I gotta post this to Facebook, and it just, the whole place goes wild.
Shit.
I'm like, you didn't see it, Tommy? Fuck.
I was posting important documents.
Exactly.
He's the man.
Every knock, you could almost know there's gonna be a big knockout if Tommy's looking down at his phone. The odds go up tremendously.
He's one of the funniest non-comedians
Totally.
that I know.
I always love when we go to the East Coast and hang out with him.
But pool players are funny, man. They're outcasts. You know, that's what I loved the most when I was a kid, when I went to New York and I started hanging out at this executive billiards place that was near my house. I fucking just loved being around misfits. They were all misfits.
Totally.
I always felt like a misfit, man. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. Like with regular people that had regular families and regular jobs. Like, oh my God, what am I going to talk to you about? I want to be around wild people.
Yeah,
These people are all wild.
I was having this conversation with Rey Mysterio Jr. just the other night. It's like pro wrestlers, strippers, comedians, pool players, rock stars,
pool players.
Yep.
Yeah, fighters. They're all the most fun people to be with because they're just living this wild lifestyle. Like, how did you figure out to do that?
Yeah.
How are you doing that? You know, like when you're hanging out with Gordon, like how are you strangling people for a living?
Yeah. We're trying to convince him, me and my buddy Kyle, we're trying to convince him to do a jiu-jitsu match blindfolded.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think he wants to do it. Could be fun. It's fun pitching ideas to him because he can dominate humans in mysterious ways.
A lot of it is feel. A lot of it is feel. There's certain things stand-up would suck. Wrestling would suck. You wouldn't be able to anticipate people shooting on you and stuff, but he would just like go to the ground immediately.
Yeah.
You know? Like when he fought Nicky Rod in Abu Dhabi, remember he was telling us before the fight what he was going to do? He goes, I'm just going to give him a leg and let him take me down, then I'll submit him.
Yeah.
He just gave him his leg.
Yeah, but he didn't make it look like he was giving him his leg, so Nicky Rod thought that he got his leg.
No, he made it look like he was giving him his leg. He gave him his leg. You remember? You've seen it?
Well, yeah.
Find Gordon Ryan versus Nicky Rod. By the way, there's like a feud between those guys.
Yeah.
I have zero side. I think Craig Jones is the shit. You know, I love that dude. He's hilarious. Craig Jones is. You ever follow Craig Jones on Instagram? He does these dick pill ads. He does this ad rather for he does dick pill ads too, but he does an ad for like some testosterone replacement therapy place. But the way he does it is so fucking funny. It's like you don't know him, you don't know if he's being honest or if he's telling the truth or if it's sarcasm. It's just ridiculous. But he's like a comic. He's really fucking funny, man. But see if you can find Gordon Ryan versus Nicky Rod.
I was looking for that video too.
Yeah, that video we can find too. But that's on his Instagram. But Gordon Ryan versus Nicky Rod. And Nicky Rod is a beast. Like, he's a monster to handle, like a real physical freak. So look, here it begins. They start grappling, and Gordon just gives him his leg.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Wow.
he gave it to him. He gave it to him.
Wow.
He's like, come on, let's go to the ground. And then Nicky is trying to figure out what to do, and Gordon's like, come on in here. It's pretty quick once he gets a hold of him. Here it is. So he scrambles, he scoots in, and he gets inside control. Once he gets inside control, you're in a lot of trouble. So he gets his legs. Oh, Nicky got out. But Nicky's backing out because he knows. Like, he doesn't want a piece of that.
What do? You try to do jiu-jitsu with the guy, so you're in a real conundrum here.
Yeah, well, Nicky Rod's best chances are to take you down and hold you down and pass you. He's got an amazing guard pass. He's a super powerful guy, like a real freak athlete genetically, like outstanding genes and crazy work ethic and everything. He's got everything. And then he was also with Danaher forever.
Where the demons
so that's where they trained together a bunch. Scoot ahead a little so you can see the submission. So eventually they lock up. So when Nicky gets on top of him and commits to being on top of him, then Gordon can get a hold of that leg. So he's getting control of Nicky's left leg right now as we speak. He's like sneaking deeper and deeper into it. Now he's really locking onto it. Now he's tying it up. Now he's rolling under. Now Nicky's in a lot of trouble. Now this is real bad because he's got a really firm grip on the ankle, and then he laced his legs over. Now it's the heel hook. He's got to tap. He's got to tap here. That's it. It's getting real close. This is fucking super nasty. And so once he gets the inside heel hook, or this is a regular heel hook, once he gets it, Nicky has to tap. Yeah, it's just, there's levels to submissions, and Gordon is at the highest level. But there's also levels to like physicality, and Nicky's at the highest level. And he's getting better at jiu-jitsu. They're a big rivalry right now. But Gordon is just so far ahead of everybody technically and work ethic-wise, and just it's fascinating to watch a guy that is only 28 years old that is dominating this insane sport where most guys are going like back and forth. One guy beats one guy, another guy beats another guy. He's just smushing everybody.
And he's so fun. He was at Kill Tony last night. Again, comes so often.
Oh, he's fun.
His mom was supposed to be at my shows in Florida, but his
mom's hilarious.
Stepdad got sick. Exactly.
She's awesome.
They just, I think there's really something to having a great sense of humor and being a great martial artist.
Well, that's Craig then. Because Craig Jones, you know, everybody calls him like the number 2 best grappler in the world, like behind Gordon. But Gordon's bigger. Gordon's on the sauce. I don't think Craig's on the sauce.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what Craig is always joking around about. He always says that you need the correct. He did this thing where he's like, you need the correct balance between steroids and autism. So I've been taking a bunch of vaccines, trying to get autism.
That's amazing.
It's funny, man. It's funny. Also, a stone cold killer. He's Volkanovski's jiu-jitsu instructor. Yeah, he's always working with Volkanovski. I don't know why they had a separation to Gordon. The whole team, you know, they separate B-team and what they call New Wave now. It used to be the Danaher Death Squad. But Gary Tonin and a bunch of guys stayed with Gordon. So
all those guys are in Austin now, right?
Everybody is. Yeah. From both groups. They're both in Austin. Which is kind of crazy. They both moved. They all moved here together from Puerto Rico, and then they split off into 2 groups, and they don't talk to each other anymore. Yeah,
like it.
It's unfortunate, but you know, is what it is. But it's the world of martial artists, like you were saying. Like those people, they're fun people. They're people that are doing a wild thing, a very different thing. They're not. The regular people that are tied down to regular jobs, there's just so much restrictions in the way you think about things, the way you express yourself, the fun you can have, the stuff you can talk about. It's like they're so restricted.
Yeah.
It's like that's a sucky place to be, man. You don't want to be in that spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Sugar Sean O'Malley never misses an episode of Kill Tony.
Oh, he's awesome.
Israel Adesanya never misses an episode. It goes on and on and on.
Well, also fighters need something fun to break it up. And like regular talk shows are not going to do it for them. They need some wild shit.
Yep.
And I think that's the thing that Kill Tony's really tapped into in this weird culture that we have right now, where you don't get wild comedy movies anymore. Yeah. You know, anytime someone puts out wild stand-up, they get attacked with a million articles about them being whatever phobic you could think of. It's just Kill Tony just resonates during that time.
Yeah.
It's also like why Protect Our Parks does so well.
Exactly.
Because we just do it the same way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Just 4 comics hanging out together, getting fucked up, drinking beer out of funnels.
I love it. I love it. I saw a clip the other day. Someone sent me of you guys watching the I Ain't Gay No More.
I am delivered.
Shane's like, oh, Kill Tony. I love it. Like, these bastards.
Yeah, and we went on this rant about Kanye. Jamie, what were you saying? That you thought that Kanye was going to be on this week because of that?
Maybe he'll still show up. But no, he's got a new album coming out. He had a crazy rant.
Yeah, Kanye. We were saying that all he needs is one good album and he's back. And this new album's, I'm guaranteed, it's going to be a banger.
Oh, I'm a Kanye fucking.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a believer.
Oh yeah. No, you're the biggest Kanye fan alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I told you I was going to have Kanye on the podcast, you fucking.
Oh yeah. I sent you a
must listen to playlist.
Document. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to listen to this. Start with this album. Go to that album.
Yeah. People talk shit about how his new stuff, the old Kanye's a thing, but it's like...
You want him a little crazy.
He's the evolution. So, like, whatever he does is where the industry is going to be in 3 to 5 years. Everybody is so far behind him that everybody younger than him, everybody listening, has to catch up years behind. You can't just copy it.
Yeah.
So
well, you're always going to have guys like that.
Yeah.
Wild pioneers.
Yeah.
And they're always at least slightly unhinged.
Oh, yeah. He's above and beyond. He is above and beyond.
How do you not be unhinged? Do you want greatness or not?
Right.
Do you want greatness or not?
Oh, this next album's crazy. No doubt.
Guaranteed.
No doubt.
We should debut it.
And he has so much to talk about.
Yeah.
You know that freestyle part 2 from... Oh, God damn it. The one that people don't know whether it's AI or whether it's him, Jamie. Do you know what I'm talking about? I listen to it all the time. So there's it's heavily debated whether it's actually Kanye or whether it's AI. This thing. Right. Yeah.
Why? Is it new?
Because Kanye hasn't commented on it at all. The actual rapper doesn't talk about it.
It's another rapper he did a duet with?
Yeah, it's Spaz Boy. What's it called?
Something else. The link I clicked is loading slow.
It's some
Ooh.
Freestyle Part 2 or something.
The link's
Stamina.
loading slow because probably
It's better.
everybody on planet Earth is listening to it right
But
now.
the lyrics are unbelievable. So now, here's the interesting part: is like Kanye has so much he can talk about now.
Interesting. So just to add to this,
Right.
I found people talking about it on Reddit from 3 months
There
ago.
we
and got
go.
into it.
Oh,
That video has been taken down from a copyright claim from the music label.
Interesting.
Right.
So
it might be real then.
Right. And the lyrics are diabolical. He's talking about Adidas. He's talking about
Ooh.
this. He's talking about that.
Nice. Ooh.
It's powerful.
Are we allowed to play it? We might not be allowed to play it. We might get in trouble.
It's so good, and it's hilarious.
He's a wild fella.
It's funny. It's profound. It's everything that he is.
Is this it?
I have to ask Tony.
I'm a man of my word.
No, this is different. That, yeah.
Is that how it starts?
No, it's not that fast. This is like a remix or something.
Let's hear it though.
That might not be 100. After that happened, if it was AI, then there's going to be a bunch of people making copies to steal.
It
YouTube
should be on
views and TikTok
Spotify.
views and all sorts of stuff. Really?
Yeah. But it's
But
not
you said
under.
it got taken down?
It was on a YouTube video. It was taken down. So maybe someone re-uploaded it and they weren't allowed to. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Right. Which is of course going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about releasing an album now.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you did say the guy's name right there.
Yeah, he comes in like 20 seconds. I'm gonna turn this up.
Let's go. Let's go. Big ass Glock in the can with a switch, nigga.
So this is the first guy. He's gonna come in a
Who is this guy?
What's it say?
It says Rundown Spaz.
Rundown Spaz.
Tell a big brother, come slide for this nigga, bitch. I'm trying to sin in this shit on Christian. You fuck with the ops, you can die with them niggas. America kiss my balls. Fuck all of y'all. Hold on. You know it's Kanye. I'm done being preachy. I'm a different species. It's Yeezy. Tell the devil get beneath me. All I did was tell the truth and nobody
Believe me.
on a boat, getting head out in the tea league. My wife's titties is DDs. They gon' pull my dick on the cover of Us Weekly. Make she show my ass crack. Riding around Chicago. GNC, black on black. Easy season, black on black. Easy out the box, like a cracker jack. Mr. Egomaniac, them people.
Oh, no.
Pay me back. Can't say I ain't changed, right? Real nigga artifact.
I hate when they play music, dude.
All cap. No more interviews with the Forbes.
He leaves that in.
Jeez.
That's what I was catching on to. That'd be really hard to fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but AI would know that.
No, so that wouldn't. I don't think they're not saying an AI made that. What they're saying, how it would have been fake, is the guy who wrote Rundown Spaz, I guess. Well, they're saying he would have written that, recorded it, and then used like almost like deep faking to just copy Kanye's voice over his voice.
Well, they definitely can do that. We just watched that with that lady, the
Right.
White House press secretary lady with Obama. They 100% could do that.
It's tough to do that though with AI. At least this was 4 months ago when this was made, and this was a guy that's,
They
not
said-
somebody at a laboratory.
Again, I read a lot about it, and they said that the breath thing in AI is kind of like how they can't do fingers in AI. So there's
Do
like
you know how crazy it is to say that 4 months ago they couldn't do that?
Yeah.
But now we know they could. Isn't that wild, Jamie? But like, think about like that made sense to all of us. We said 4 months ago they couldn't do this. Well, oh yeah, 4 months ago. At what time in history has there been a timeline where 4 months ago seems like forever? Like when someone sends you an article and you look at it and you go, oh, it's from May. You like dismiss it. Like, this is like 5 months ago, whatever. Get out of here with that. Oh, this is 7 months ago. Oh my God, this is 2022.
Damn, I'm the
What are
lowest
you, like,
DPS
reading
here.
Ancient history to me. And when you say that something could do something now, like when we were talking about Michael Hastings' car, 2010, could they do that? I think they could do that. Now we know they can do that. Like 4 months ago, if you said, I don't know if they could do that Kanye song like that 4 months ago, unless they made it in a lab. Now, 100%. How many times has Duncan Trussell taken your voice and had you say ridiculous things in the green room to us?
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious with that.
So fast.
It's so funny.
And it sounds exactly like me.
He sounds exactly like you, and you're like praising things that suck.
Yeah.
What was the last one he did with you? He's done a bunch of them.
He takes people that I don't necessarily like and makes me talk about how much I love them.
And about I try to focus on their positive qualities.
Ooh, nice.
David Lucas hates that Duncan does that. He like gets scared like there's a ghost in the room. Like, turn that off. Turn that off.
Which is why he made that rap song about David Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy. Having him around is so important.
Oh man.
We have such a great crew.
Oh, the squad is crazy.
It's so good. When we're all working out together, I'm like, this is so crazy. It's Brian Simpson, Hassan, Derek Poston, Shane Gillis.
Yep. Matt McCusker,
It's
Tim
like
Dillon.
So many good guys. Segura, Christina Pazitsky. There's so many good guys here.
Yeah.
So many good comics.
Holtzman's a big one.
Oh my God, having Holtzman around is amazing.
And all the big dogs want to come back all the time. There's people all.
How about Howie Mandel the other night?
Oh my God. He has the time.
He's
of
like,
his
I want
life.
to do this. I was trying to convince him to be a comic again.
Yeah.
I go, you have so much money. Like, you don't need any more money. If this is what you like to do, this is what you should be doing. Like, when he's with us, he's like a little kid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is so fun. When he went up on stage, he had so much fun. Like, he just showed up, and I was like, do you want to go up? I don't have to. It's okay. I go, I'd like you to go up. If you'd like to go up, do you want to go up? He's like, yeah, okay. You go up after Brian. Brian's up next. And he's just like, oh my God. Yeah. You can see he gets all giddy.
Because you can't buy that.
Yeah. And then he comes backstage. He's like, it's so fun. I do this all the time. I saw he was at the Ice House the other day. So maybe he's doing more stand-up now.
Ah, he's got the itch. We
Thank
know how
God.
to do that. We
Yeah.
brought Ron out of retirement. We brought Roseanne out of retirement.
Ron's on tour again. When Ron's girlfriend said, come to Ron's retirement party, I go, I ain't going to no bullshit party for something that's never going to happen. I go, Ron White is not retiring. Like, what are you talking about? He's always like, well, I'll retire, but I'll do your club. I go, Ron, you can do whatever you want, but you're not retiring. Stop saying you're going to retire. You're one of the greatest of all time. You're not retiring. Shut the fuck up. He's so funny. He's better now than he's ever been.
Oh, yeah.
He's so sharp because he's working with us all the time. He's doing sets all the time.
He comes on nights where he doesn't even want to do sets.
Yep.
It's just a home away from home. He needs to be around comedians.
Well, when we had that Christmas party the other night, we were all huddled up in the green room like, this is our safe space.
Yeah.
This is like, it's the clubhouse. It's like the ultimate clubhouse. Yeah. So fun.
It's the best. The
They're so
laughs
silly.
that we have in that room are
So silly.
insane. The hardness of the laughs.
It's so silly. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's just, we're so lucky. You know, like I was saying the other day with us working out with The Rock, I was like, is this real life? Like, what is this? Like, this fun thing that we get to do. Like, we've just engineered this very bizarre life.
Yeah. I get to golf with Ron. Golf is like a 4 or 5 hour adventure.
Yeah.
And there's unbelievable quiet moments where, you know, it's times like, because it's not like hunting where you have to kind of be quiet.
Yeah.
So like he could snipe and say something from 100 yards away. Great shot. If your shit goes in the woods or whatever, just whatever. And with his twang, I'm horrible at impressions, but he has the funniest execution. And that's the thing about that green room when I'm talking about how hard we laugh. Like you have Protect Our Parks is 1/5 of the room at any given point, and we're all together. So it's like a super Royal Rumble Ultra podcast, and he'll just snipe with a word. Yep. Or something like that to something. Like it's just chaos.
Yeah, we're very fortunate, man.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate. Really do. Almost too fortunate. Like while it's happening, I'm like, God, we're so lucky. Like, how did this happen? Because when we thought about doing this place, when you and I, who were like the first of the pioneers out here, when we were talking about doing this place, like we all had this idea of what it was going to be, but we didn't think it was going to work out that well. We didn't think it was going to be perfect.
Not that fast. I thought it would be perfect, but we really had it at Vulcan. The
Yeah.
story starts at that crazy cement fucking paper mache, no walls on the stalls. I don't
Remember
know if
that
you
one
ever
day?
went to one of the public restrooms there.
Oh, I
'cause
did.
We only,
Oh, they were disgusting.
It's
Half of them
unbelievable.
didn't flush. There was a moment where Brian Simpson was high as fuck, and he looked at me and he goes, "Yo, dog, you ever look at the cords that hold up those speakers?" I go, "What?" He goes, "You know how heavy those speakers are?" I go, "No, how heavy are those speakers?" He goes, "Oh, hundreds of pounds." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Look at that goes." He goes, "There's two little skinny ass strands."
Strings.
He goes, "They got no backup. If one of those breaks, everybody dies." I was like, "Jesus Christ, Nick. What the fuck?" I told Nick, "If you ever look at those cords,"
Yeah.
Brian had me totally convinced these
rolling
giant
the
speakers are
gloves.
going to fall on the people in the front row.
Yeah, so many memories from that place.
That place is wild. That was the place where we decided that we were going to open a club. When Ron White grabbed me by my shoulders. Whatever the fuck we have to do, we're doing this.
Yeah.
You got to open up a club.
Yeah.
I was
That
like,
was
okay.
over 3 years ago. It was
Yeah,
3 years and a month or two
Yeah, I was
ago.
like, let's do it.
Yeah.
It was so wild to be doing shows indoors back then. I just found a stash of masks the other day in my truck. They were in my little side thing. I didn't know they were in there. I pulled out these fucking stupid surgical masks. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to forget this.
Right.
It's like a time where the world went insane.
Yep. That's exactly how I feel when I see one. They'll pop up in like, you know, like near fucking socks or whatever,
Yeah.
like crazy laundry or shit.
I was watching a video on YouTube of a car review, and these guys were in this car and they both had masks on. I'm like, nope, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see this. I
Yeah.
don't want to. This is like, it's gonna annoy me so much.
Right.
These guys are doing this stupid thing that everybody had to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At the airports, I notice, especially on the insides of airports, people do it. And like I glazed over earlier, when I saw a barista wearing 2 masks, it's almost like, this sounds terrible, but it's like seeing a wild animal in the wild, because I'm like trying to study the situation. I'm like,
Right.
what are they thinking? Are they sick? Are they super sick? I'm like waiting for them to cough or breathe heavy or something, because you have to think to yourself, like, are you paying any attention to anything? And
It's also an anxiety thing. And some people, like the mask, some people actually liked wearing a mask because at least part of them was covered. Like they didn't have to expose part of their expressions to you. Like people that were socially awkward, maybe they liked being behind a mask.
You know, one thing I noticed at a building I used to live in, one of the guys that worked that you'd see a lot around the building always wore the mask. And I'm like, that's so interesting. I wonder if he has a pre-existing condition. 'Cause it doesn't seem, his attitude and his energy wasn't a mask-wearing energy, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what I felt. And then I saw him without the mask, and he had a weird, what's the thing where you cuss sometimes?
Tourette's.
Yeah, he had like Tourette's, but just with his face, whatever that is. Where it was like
Yeah, little ticks.
Yeah, ticks. He had face ticks.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, his life is just a little bit easier. He feels more normal behind the mask.
Sure.
Because you don't see it if he's wearing it.
Yeah. And I think some people are hiding behind it. They like to hide behind it. Makes them feel better. And then there's also this thing where like some people had like a very high level of anxiety already. And they only get their information in little echo chambers, you know, which I think we're all going to deal with to some extent. But they get their information from these echo chambers and they really believe everything the mainstream news says. And especially when it's ideologically connected. That's what's so crazy. It's like taking a vaccine, taking a medicine, somehow or another became ideologically connected with you being a progressive, well-educated, open-minded liberal. Whereas being skeptical of the companies that have the biggest fucking criminal fines in medical history, like giant crazy fines for lying, like those guys you should trust. And if you don't trust them, well, you must be some Trumper, anti-vaxxer,
Right.
some fool
Yeah.
who's taking veterinary medicine. Oh, you fool.
Right.
And to see that be a dividing narrative was very enlightening, because to me, you know, because I was caught up in the middle of it all, I was like, oh, it's an ideology thing. It's a thing that humans do, where you just believe a collected group of ideas that matches with your social circle, maybe your economic circle, maybe the education circle, the people that you know that are all like operating in your, and you all just believe it wholesale without investigating it. And if you get critical of it at all, you get attacked. So you back off that. You don't want that. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if that was a natural course of events or if that was like socially engineered. If it was socially engineered, my God, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like if that was like, if you want to go full Alex Jones and say that was like a test run for like a real pandemic to see how people would react and how quickly they'd roll over, you would go, wow, that was shocking. Because people that I really respected, that were really intelligent people, were terrified of discussing the possibility that maybe you're not getting the whole truth about all of it, whether it's the origins of the virus, the medications that are effective in treating the virus, what's legal and why it's legal and why it's being mandated. Like if any skepticism at all, you're attacked for. It's like, that's brilliant. How did they do that? Did they do that because it's just like the perfect storm of a terrifying pandemic, a bunch of people freaking out, and then this solution that gets offered that everybody thinks like, if you don't get to that solution, then you're a part of the problem. But the orchestrating of it all, it's like, it makes me it makes me regain this idea that society can be engineered by, like, if you were like some crazy cabal of super billionaires like the World Economic Forum, you really kind of could engineer society into a certain direction, because like, you know how they behave when things happen, and if you can get a certain narrative out there early enough where no one can call bullshit on it, like the vaccine is 100% effective. And if you get the vaccine, you're never going to get COVID. The virus stops with you. If you can get that out there and enough people can repeat it, then everybody who's against that is against this idea of us getting back to normal. And then you already know, oh, they'll just start fighting. Look at this is amazing. And then they'll all comply. And then they won't admit that the problems that you were talking about, like excess deaths and all-cause mortality, all that stuff, young people dying of heart attacks at a record rate, they won't look at it. Because that goes against their narrative.
And when all that happened, there's two types of people, right? Ones that need a lot of socializing, right? Like, we hang out and talk to people, we ask questions,
Right.
not just our direct family,
right?
Other like-minded people and whatnot. And the information, oh, you know somebody that got it? Okay, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I think a lot of people don't have that, so they were going to the internet, right?
Especially shut-ins.
Exactly. But also everybody, because we had nothing else to fucking do.
Right.
I mean, that
And
had
we
to
were
be the
isolated?
time when the most data, I'm sure there's a record for that. Like, I'm sure that has to be a record for Wi-Fi use and data.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Everyone's home.
Yeah, just consuming.
And everyone's full of anxiety.
Which brings me to my next thing, which is like, I just read a thing about how corporate trolling is a big thing. Like, these corporations are buying in the ability to inform misinformation. There's a crazy article. I can't remember the statistic, but it's
15%
insane.
of posts on Reddit were from corporate trolls or something like that.
What percent?
15%.
I think the thing I read was higher. I don't
Holy
think
shit,
Reddit,
man.
but it's like,
holy shit,
it's a thing, and which means it could have been a thing then.
Right.
So,
which is why, yeah, go ahead.
Even the people that, like we were talking about the baby boomers not just being spoon-fed the news, even the people that think they're one level smarter are reading things that easily bought by a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Something we wouldn't spend money on information, but why wouldn't they?
What a wild thing to do, to hire someone to get a narrative out and to pretend you're a regular person arguing online, and it's totally legal. It's really deception. New study, at least 15% of all Reddit content is corporate trolls trying to manipulate public opinion.
Oh,
now,
Lord.
Is that fraud? What is that?
Oh, Lord.
It's not technically fraud.
Oh, Lord.
What is it, though? If you're pretending to be a person,
Lord.
should you have to sign a contract when you use a social media account? Like, you know, this Nikki Haley lady, I think she wants everybody to have to, like, expose their name and their ID whenever they post. But the problem with that is then that discourages, like, government whistleblowers and things along those lines. Like, if someone has, like, some important information that they have to get out, you know, and also foreign countries, they'll kill people. If you have the rules apply to America, you're going to have those rules applied to other countries. What percentage of people that are on Twitter are from the rest of the world outside of America? It's got to be pretty high. So how are you going to enforce that? You're not going to be able to. But even if you did, like, this idea that that's a good thing, like, I see why they would say that, but you should at least have to somehow or another prove that you're an individual. I don't know how you would do that without giving up your information. But maybe you don't have to do it publicly, but there should be a way where we know you're not a troll. Like, fucking, man, the only problem with that is, like, it's a trap. Because the way is like a digital ID, and you don't want to give up a digital ID. You don't want to have like a thing that shows you everywhere you go online, because someone will be able to just do things with that. They'll be able to manipulate you from that into having something that's attached to something else, like whether it's a vaccine passport or a social credit score, or, you know, centralized digital currency that's on that phone with that app with your unique ID. This is how we're going to stop bank fraud. You're going to have a unique ID. Nobody's going to be able to steal your money.
Oh, it's an offhand.
Your money's all digital now.
Yeah, technically they could track everything about your life. So when you look at somebody, your glasses can say how often they eat at this restaurant and everything. Like,
so is the solution to just allow the trolls, allow corporate trolls, and hope that people are smart enough to realize that they're being fucked with? But like, what if those corporate trolls are shifting public opinion and it actually costs lives? That's where it gets weird. Like, what if they lie about something because they don't want to have responsibility for something that they did? So they obscure the truth with these corporate trolls, and it gets messy enough where people just argue it out and they slide through.
And, you know, when you think about the intentions behind who would they attack, what types of things would they try to manipulate, it's the things that would threaten them.
Yeah.
Need a little clarification on this. As I tried to dig through the article is paid for behind a medium, so I can't get there, but
paid for by trolls. Inc.
Right, exactly.
I paid to get in there. I said that wrong.
Yeah.
But
right.
What it actually says behind it is 15% of the top 100 subreddits found to have content that was likely posted by bots or corporate trolls, specifically aimed at promoting certain companies or organizations.
I don't know why that's so hard to believe when we know how many trolls are on Facebook and Instagram, and there's constant trolls. I was looking at someone was getting attacked for something like pretty minor, but I was just like reading the comments of this page, and I do this thing now where I'll go and I'll read something that seems like a little weird or off or something like that, and then I go to their page. Oh, you're a fake account. Like, this is a fake account. You have no posts. You're restricted. No one can see it. You have no no followers. You have like 15 followers. Like, oh, okay, this is fake. You got a fake account. Yeah. How many of these are there? How many of these are there that are just constantly commenting on things and trying to stir up bullshit? It's weird. It's legal. So if right now there's no law that prevents corporations from hiring people to pretend that they're a person,
I'm doing more
using
DPS
AI
in this damn
pretend they're a
age,
person
so.
to put a narrative out. If that's not illegal, like, what is that?
I don't want to hear it.
Like, what kind of deception is that? Like, you're not allowed to lie.
243
right?
gear score.
Like, if a corporation has found that they're lying about data, they get fined. If it's found out that they're lying about environmental problems they've created or whatever, they get fined.
Damn
right? They get in trouble. People go to jail.
But if
you can just have like a bunch of people constantly lying for you, or if it's AI, have AI constantly lying for you, obscuring the truth, publishing misleading papers.
Right.
AI could just start publishing papers. You know, because papers get accepted sometimes that are fucking loony. Like, are you aware of the...
window. All right.
The grievance fraud papers. Okay. It's a really fascinating story. So these guys who are legitimate academics, they just, it's Helen Pluckrose. Do you have it? Can you pull it up? James Lindsay and Peter Boghossian. Sorry, Peter. Brain freeze. But the three of them put together these grievance papers where they were fake papers based on ridiculous things like rape culture, the dog park, and heteronormative behavior, the dog park, like weird shit, like fat bodybuilding, like fake papers, and some of them won awards. Yeah, like put up the Grievance Studies Affair. Okay, the Grievance Studies Affair was a project with a team of authors, Peter Boghossian, James A. Lindsay, and Helen Pluckrose, to highlight what they saw as poor scholarship and erosion of standards in several academic fields. Taking place over 2017-2018, their project entailed submitting bogus papers to academic journals on topics from the field of critical social theory, or in derogatory terms, wokery, culture, queer, race, gender, fat, and sexuality studies to determine whether or not they would pass through peer review and be accepted for publication. Several of these papers were subsequently published, with the authors cited in support of their contention. Yeah, okay. So let's find out what the names of the studies were, because they were very funny. Like, some of them were really, really, really ridiculous.
So basically, these are reviewed by other supposedly academic humans.
Yeah, so Peter Boghossian, who was he at the University of Portland?
Prison.
What are the names of the papers? Okay, Human Reactions to Rape Culture and Queer Performativity in Urban Dog Parks in Portland, Oregon. Oh my God, it's amazing. They're all retracted, obviously, because people found out that they're fake studies. Going in through the back door, challenging straight male homo hysteria and transphobia through receptive, penetrative sex toy use.
Oh my God, can we read that? What is that?
Ooh,
that's hilarious.
It's amazing. It's amazing. They were saying that, like, guys have homophobia, you should get pegged, and that'll get over. You'll get over the
and there's
transphobia.
Just somebody that has to review that, and they're like, well, I'm not going to be the one that gets in trouble for.
They were
basically
saying,
a study
amazing. We like what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
They have retracted this article. It's come to light that it does not present genuine research. This article was not authored by M. Smith, as stated on submission, but Peter Boghossian, Helen Pluckrose, James Lindsay have all publicly admitted it was written by them under false pretense. Yeah. To date, very little research literature exists concerning receptive penetration anal eroticism in straight men. Of particular interest is its impact upon other factors relevant to masculinities, sex roles, and the studies of sex life. Several, it's hard to read this because it says redacted over the top of it. Most likely to be relevant to straight male sexuality, including masturbatory play with penetrative toys specifically. This study seeks to explore, do men who report greater discomfort with receptive penetrative anal eroticism also report less transphobia, less obedience to masculine gender norms, greater partner sensitivity, and greater awareness about rape. The study uses semi-structured interviews with 13 men to explore this question, analyzed with a naturalist and constructivist grounded theory approach in the context of sexualities research, and introduces transhysteria as parallel concept to Anderson's homohysteria. This analysis recognizes, I can't read that, it's covered over, socially remedial value for encouraging male anal eroticism with sex toys. Encouraging. So they were just trying to say that the social sciences are bullshit.
Yeah.
That all this theory and all this, these are insane people. They're talking about nonsense. And so they made these papers. And, some of them won awards.
Unbelievable. They're basically saying if you shove stuff up a straight guy's ass,
it'll fix all his problems.
Yeah.
Imagine there's people that read that and don't go, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. There's people that read that and go, yeah, what a great idea. I like it.
I wonder how long.
I think that is probably what's going on. That's probably what they're missing. Everyone's a misfit. That's what it is. Misfits have found themselves, and they've formed these groups in universities where they're teaching kids and they're teaching them nonsense. And so when a paper slips through that under a civilization that has its wits about it, the highest levels of education would read that and go, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? You're talking about, you guys did a study where you pegged dudes to see if you could clear them of trans hysteria? What the fuck are you doing?
I want to know the results.
Yeah. Results are all fake. They made it all up. All the research was fake. And that was with a bunch of them. But it's just funny that it snuck through, because that's how nuts things are. Things are so nuts in universities. You have so many crazy people teaching kids. Imagine being a kid, too, when you're finally getting away from your dad. Maybe your dad's a dope. Maybe he's a Fox News monkey, and he just fucking always parroting everything that they say. And you're like, God, I can't wait to get away from my repressive father. And you get to a school, and these new people embrace you, and, you know, they take you in. You get to be a part of this new group, and this new group has a totally different ideology from your parents. Man, fuck your parents. And fuck the colonists. And like, yeah, fuck the colonists. And next thing you know, you're on board with this shit. And then one day you wake up and you're like 27, and you're working, and you're like, where are my taxes going?
It's wild. We had like, she was 25 or something, year-old girl pulled out of the bucket last night on Kill Tony. She mentioned that she broke up with her boyfriend because she found videos of him sucking a dude's dick on his computer while wearing her clothes. Whew. So when she was away, he would put on her feminine clothes
and have guys come over and
yeah.
suck guys' dicks.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing, Tony.
Yeah. It's wild times. It is. I asked her, I go, did he come out as gay after that? Did he come out of your closet?
How much of this trend that you see in society towards whether it's transgenderism or queerness or this acceptance of this, not just acceptance but celebration of the LGBTQ lifestyle, is it possible that a percentage of that is influenced and engineered? Just like these corporate trolls are influencing narratives. Is there a percentage where China is making everybody gay?
Nope.
And Russia?
Right. Yeah.
Do you think it's possible? I don't think it's 100. I'm not saying that gay people don't exist. I'm not saying that gay people and trans people shouldn't be free. Of course you should. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how many lost people are being influenced by a narrative that is in some way being influenced by foreign governments? I'm not saying it's all of it, but is it 5%? Like, what's the number? Like, what is the number that where this message gets elevated specifically as a way to, whether it's demoralize or confuse or cause some sort of societal disruption? Like, if I was in a foreign government and I was going to figure out a way to fuck with a country, what better way than have a bunch of gender confusion and people mad about gender confusion?
I guarantee you that per capita, there's more gays in America than there are in China. If you hand out that questionnaire,
yeah, but maybe not though. Maybe it's like the Catholic schoolgirl thing, where you tell them they can't do it and they just want to do it.
All right, let me put it this way. I guarantee you there's more people willing to admit they're gay in America than in China and Russia.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, right? I think in Russia,
have you ever seen a Russian admit to being gay?
I think it's illegal. I think it's something great. Like, what are the laws in Russia on gay? That was one of the things that Pussy Riot were protesting about back in the day. Remember that Russian girl punk band, Pussy Riot?
Yeah. They were Russian?
Yeah. Huh. Bro, you want to be an activist in Russia? That's a different kind of courage. That's a different kind of courage.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of courage. You want to do protests in Russia? They'll beat the fuck out of you. They'll lock you in jail.
Right.
But I think there's like laws like against homosexuality.
Yeah, Stalin in 1934 made it illegal for anal sex between men, 3 to 5 years imprisonment.
And then you're in a prison butt fucking forever.
Right, but that was illegal in America at the time too. Lenny Bruce used to have a joke about that. One of Lenny Bruce's rare jokes that culturally still work today. He was like, dig, so you take these guys that they're into guys, and you say, hey, you can't be gay, that's illegal. So you lock them up with a bunch of men who want to have sex with them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They knew the guys were fucking each other in prison in the 50s, in the 60s. Everybody knew it. But homosexuality at that time, I think, was illegal in America, at least in some way.
Sodomy is what was illegal.
Right, but that's what that is.
Right.
So you can be gay, you just can't do anything. Because sodomy is mouth and butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to same-sex sodomy in some states along the way.
Finally. So straight people could do their mouth and butt.
Who was the last?
The last guy to get convicted. Shit.
2003. What state?
Is the last dude who was eating ass
Yeah.
in the 1860s.
I bet you could figure it out.
Alabama.
No.
Georgia.
No.
Tennessee.
California.
2003.
New York. Texas.
No.
Yeah.
Texas.
West Virginia.
Texas.
It was?
2003 guy got arrested for eating ass. Your Honor, he was eating that girl's ass.
Tony laughing a
I
little too
walked
hard,
in,
no?
I caught him in the middle of
2006.
something against our Lord.
Missouri had a law against homosexual conduct.
Ooh. Well, we could all get arrested.
The
for
crazy
that.
thing about calling it sodomy is like you're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. You're talking about a biblical thing. Like that's what's wild about that term. Like that's the origin of the term sodomy. So if you're saying that someone can't do gay stuff, you're saying they can't do gay stuff because the Bible says it's illegal. Wow, that's nuts. 2003 is a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that sanctions of criminal punishment for consensual adult non-procreative sexual activity, commonly referred to as sodomy laws, are unconstitutional. The court reaffirmed the concept of a right to privacy that earlier cases had found the U.S. Constitution provides, even though it is not explicitly enumerated. It based its ruling on the notion that personal autonomy to define one's own relationships and of American traditions of non-interference with private sexual decisions between consenting adults. Fucking duh. Imagine it took till 2003. That is nuts. So in 1998, John Geddes Lawrence Jr., an older white man, was arrested along with Tyron Garner, a younger black man, at Lawrence's apartment in Harris County, Texas. Garner's former boyfriend had called the police, claiming that there was a man with a weapon in the apartment. What a bitch move.
Oh, man.
What a bitchy
angry
move.
ex-boyfriend. There
What
he
a
is.
bitch move.
He's
Garner's
just getting, his old white man ex-boyfriend's just getting pounded by some beast.
You
named
son of a
Tyron Garner.
bitch. He's got a gun. Garner's former boyfriend had called the police, claiming that there was a man with a weapon in the apartment. Sheriff deputies said they found the men engaging in sexual intercourse.
Oh, what the fuck?
Imagine
Right.
you're in the middle of having some good old butt fucking.
Just a bunch of police
Fucking
with
cops.
revolvers.
SWAT team.
Texas fucking. Hold up,
Yeah.
stop.
They got night vision on. Shit. Fucking. They brought a dog. Jesus Christ. Lawrence and Garner were charged with misdemeanor under Texas anti-sodomy law. Imagine they broke into these guys' house while they were having sex, and they charged them with the anti-sodomy law. Both pleaded no contest and received a fine. Assisted by the American civil organization Lambda Legal, not to be confused with NAMBLA, North American Man-Boy Love Association. You know, that's a real thing.
Yeah. No,
That's
South
crazy.
Park, yeah.
Lawrence and Garner appealed their sentences through the Texas Court of Appeals, which ruled in 2000 the sodomy law was unconstitutional. Texas appealed to have the court. Wow. Texas was like, nope.
Sounds suspicious.
We're appealing that appeal. You ain't butt fucking in my county, son. Look at here, page 25, right here in the good book. Says no butt fucking.
Oh my God! You let one in, you let them all in.
Yeah, a man cannot layeth with another man.
Oh my God!
Yeah. And then what is the origins of the term sodomy? Can you Google that? I'm 99% sure it comes from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, yeah.
But what does it describe when it says sodomy? Like when you say...
like the biblical description?
Yeah. Well, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So they were apparently engaging in all these awful things, and God decided to smite them, right? That's the story? Do you remember the story?
I mean, someone tried to put a bad name on fucking Sodom. He did something.
Something happened, and I think it was like a town, right?
Yeah.
Well, what was it? 2 towns, Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah, they were next to each other.
They're just both butt fucking, just
And
getting out of control, getting crazy. And
it sounded like Vegas.
Sounded like Vegas. It was their version of Vegas, and everybody was like, "Hey!" And like, what are you talking about? We figured out a way to fucking not have kids.
Yeah.
And God's like, no, not up the butt.
That's where it says it right here. I
Okay.
guess. This is the mention.
Addresses people as from Sodom and Gomorrah, associates Sodom with shameless sinning, and tells Babylon that it will end like those 2 cities. So what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible?
Oh, that was the fire and brimstone.
Right. Can you just find out what it says? I just want to read the description.
Well,
is it at the top? Wasn't that it?
We have to do Bible study now.
Wasn't that it at the top?
No.
Yeah, we're doing Bible study, Jamie.
I know this is a long description. It doesn't say anything that you're looking for. It definitely isn't going to say anything about butt fucking in the Bible. I know that. It's a lot of like inferred. This is what they were talking about.
Right.
I don't think that's
butt fucking in the Bible.
So it's just they're talking about sin. But how does it become specifically sin, like of butt fucking? Like if you said someone sodomized someone, you would say they butt fucked, right?
Hold on, let me do like stop.
It seems like religion has kind of penetrated society on this one. You know what I mean? Like in the law, because that's what they say is against the law, right? Sodomy.
Yep.
Was that part of the thing?
Yes.
It comes from
So
Latin,
like
the
the-
sin of Sodom.
Yeah.
Sin of Sodom.
Sin of Sodom. So why is sodomy a sin? Jesus joins other ancient authorities in viewing the sins of the sodomites as the abuse of strangers, neglecting the poor and the needy, and the stigmatizing of outsiders. Whoa. Wait a minute. Now it gets weird.
Yeah.
Now it gets weird because I like what Jesus is saying. So Jesus is saying when you commit sodomy, the sin is the abuse of strangers, neglecting the poor and the needy, and then stigmatizing of outsiders. And then Texas is like, yeah, butt fucking.
Yeah.
Basically butt fucking. That shit's illegal, man. Don't be butt fucking. No. And Jesus is like, that's not what I said. Jesus is like, no. I'm saying don't be shitty to strangers. Scroll back down so I can read that again. Don't neglect the poor and the needy, and don't stigmatize others. See, this is how we prevent wars. You other people, right? Jesus is saying, don't do that. And everybody's like, yeah, no butt fucking. Yeah. Jesus said it.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Hey, no stigmatizing around
But
here.
imagine if that's what the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah were. They were just shitty to people.
No. I've read
And
it.
Jesus is like, don't be shitty to people. And then someone was like, I heard they were butt fucking too. That's even worse.
Okay. Well, actually, I don't remember the exact part, but to paraphrase, there's a chapter where these angels go to somebody in Sodom and Gomorrah before it's destroyed, and it's the whole thing of trying to say, okay, you need to come out, we're going to destroy it, and he prays to God, and says, if I find 100 people, will you spare it that are good? And it goes all the way down to, if I find 2 people or 3 people, will you spare it? And so he doesn't spare it, but when these 2 angels go to Sodom to get him and talk to him, the townspeople try to sodomize the angels or something like that, and then the angels slew 300 people that were trying to do this. So that's why it said neglect of, or basically attacking strangers is when you'd come in, they would try to sodomize you. And so it was oh, get this guy's a new guy, get him. And so it definitely is specifically referring to that. And I guess the other things as well. Wait, hold on. Holy squirts. You have wisdom, you bonehead. Oh my god, this guy's a bonehead. So, anyways, yeah. So that's definitely wrong. And if you've read the Bible, you'd know that for sure. And I'll even go as far as say is he knows. He knows it's not. He's just joking and trying to downplay. Anyways, let's get back to it.
That's even worse. There was probably some dude who really wanted to butt fuck and be so angry that he couldn't butt fuck. Nobody gets to butt fuck.
Right.
Because that's a lot of it. Like when you find people that are like vehemently anti-gay, you're always like, how long before they catch you in a wetsuit?
Ooh, okay.
With a dildo up your ass.
Addition to this.
Okay. Unnatural sexual relations, such as those customs imputed to the inhabitants of biblical Sodom, especially between men, but also with breasts from beasts. Oh, excuse me. From beasts from Old French sodomy. Compare late Latin anal sex, literally the sins of Sodom from the Latin Sodoma. In Middle English, also sin sodomite. Did you know that some forms of syphilis apparently came from people fucking animals? Yeah.
Do you know what animal?
I think it's sheep. Is that true? I know that there's different forms of syphilis, and one they're pretty sure came from the original people in the Mayflower coming over and having sex with Native Americans, and then going back to Europe and giving them VD and giving them syphilis. The kind of syphilis is just killing everybody. Because like that's the syphilis that like makes your fucking rot chunks out of your fucking face and your nose falls off and shit.
Yeah.
And apparently that really started hitting Europe right after the Mayflower and the Pinta and the Santa Maria. Like right after that. You got this? You making that? I got a pee. Okay. So they were, but there was another version of syphilis apparently that already existed in Europe that they think came from bestiality. These sick fucks. Is that true? Is that fake?
It says importantly, like smallpox, there is no known animal reservoir for syphilis.
Animal reservoir.
Does that mean that they can't keep it, hold it, store it?
Yeah, that means you can't get it from them. I thought that. Oh, so that means that animals don't have syphilis. So it's not. So what was the origin for the original syphilis in Europe? I gotta swear, I thought I read something about it being connected to animals.
We're not gonna make it.
Maybe that was just a rumor. Maybe that was one of those things that was like people thought that's what happened, but then they found out it's not the case because there wasn't an animal reservoir. Because you know that animals have COVID. What's really weird, like deer. They've tested a bunch of deer that have COVID, and they're like, how?
Why is he facing me?
How the fuck did they get COVID? How do wild deer get COVID? Like really? How did that spread?
No.
But I think during the height of the pandemic, there was like a good percentage of deer that they would test that tested positive for COVID-19.
Maybe because if it's in an area where there's feeders or something.
Could be.
Human contamination.
Oh, no.
Could be.
Oh no.
Maybe people handling the deer.
No.
If it's not wild deer, maybe it's deer that get released in the wild and they give it to the wild deer.
Yeah, like what deer are getting COVID tests? Probably ones near humans.
Oh no.
Well, definitely ones near humans, because they're probably ones that were hunted. They shot them, and then they tested them. I'm pretty sure that was how they found out. Oh no, I'm not sure about that though.
Says that medieval
it's
DNA
tank, though.
studies.
I think it's still better than mine.
Columbus didn't trigger syphilis.
There's
in Europe.
two
They already had
straight.
it there.
I'm gonna try for
Yes,
both.
what this guy was saying the other day that was telling me
Roll
that
for all
he
three.
understand. He's a doctor. He's saying there's really two different kinds of syphilis though. It's like syphilis did already exist in Europe, but he said it's pretty obvious that the syphilis that happened specifically right afterwards seemed to be more aggressive and different.
I think it's.
And this was the
idea
that the syphilis had come from America.
They went looking.
Okay, the team went looking for syphilis. What they found was a much wider array of treponemal strains, not just syphilis, but also yaws, which today is found exclusively in the tropics, and a previously undiscovered strain with no modern-day counterpart. We see that many different lineages were present in Europe, which we did not know before, Schunemann says. What's more, the dating range given the two strains is bounded on the lower end by ages in the early to mid 1400s. Potentially the first DNA evidence that syphilis existed in Europe prior to Columbus's contact with the Americas. Interesting. So it may be that it existed there, but then they brought back a more virulent strain or something. I don't know. I don't know who's right. But it is wild that that's one of the ways that these infectious diseases got passed on. People would just show up with them. And that's the thing, like when people talk about the genocide of the Native Americans, what they leave, a lot of folks maybe don't even know, is that 90% of them died because of diseases.
Right.
Imagine a country where 90% of the people die. Imagine if like this thing that's happening right now, where the borders are open and all these South American people are just storming through. It's crazy if you see the border of America. It's fucking nuts. It's a wide open border, which is just insane. But when you're watching that, imagine if they brought over a disease that killed 90% of the people here. Whoa. That's what happened in 1492.
Whoa. I never thought of it that way.
Yep. There was 100 million Native Americans here at one point in time, they estimate.
Did you say 100 million?
100 million.
Oh, fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
How
wild is that? That's the high estimates. Make sure that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. But they used to think there was much less. And then as time was gone on, they realized also they've been here a lot longer than they thought. They found footprints of people that were here 22,000 years ago. They had this idea of Clovis first. I don't know what the specific time period of Clovis, but the Clovis period, they thought that was the beginning of people in North America. And now they're like, nope, we found footprints of people 22,000 years ago. They're like, holy shit. 100 million or more. Population figures for the indigenous peoples of America prior to European colonization have been difficult to establish. By the end of the 20th century, most scholars gravitated towards an estimate of around 50 million, with some historians arguing for an estimate of 100 million or more. Wow. In an effort to circumvent the hold in which the Ottoman Empire held on the overland trade routes to East Asia, and the hold that the Attorney Regis granted to Portugal on maritime routes via the African coast and the Indian Ocean, the monarchs of the nascent Spanish Empire decided to fund Columbus's voyage in 1492, which eventually led to the establishment of settler colonial states and the migration of millions of Europeans to the Americas. That's nuts. What an invasion. What a crazy invasion. I mean, that is one of the wildest stories in human history. You know, and it's so ironic that at that same place, people are bitching that people are storming in from the border.
So I can use that for, I guess.
It's kind of funny. I mean, they have a good point. We really do have to have secure borders. But still, it's kind of wild that this one country that was literally established as a place to go to when you're fleeing a place that sucks. You're like, yeah, we're full. Mm-hmm. We're full, kids. Stay out.
More intellect. I could use it for
healing. I wonder what the study is on that in like Australia. I've never really thought about the number of the natives that were there before.
Well, the crazy thing about Australia, my friend Adam Greentree, you know Adam.
Yeah.
He was here the other day explaining to us the number of different languages they have, and that a lot of them aren't even written down, and that these tribes will be, they call them mobs of Aborigines, that a mob will be 30 kilometers or 300 kilometers away from another mob, and they speak a totally different language, and they don't even know what it is. Like, they can't communicate with each other. Wow. They said there's hundreds of them, hundreds of different languages.
So if they needed a cup of sugar, they wouldn't even know how to ask for it.
They don't know how to ask for it. And they've been around for a long fucking time, man. They've been in that place for a long time. And they find, like, ancient artwork on the walls of caves and shit and sides of cliffs. It's like, he's found a bunch of, like, ancient Aborigine art because it's so wild. You just, like, you're looking at this thing like, how old is this? Like, no one even knows. Wow. Yeah. Bro, they used to have, was it in Australia? No, it was New Zealand, I think. They had an eagle that could kill people. It was called the Haast eagle. It was an enormous eagle. And they think they went extinct because people decided to kill them because they were killing people.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
they
I'll be
found
back 1 second.